Roselle Ricotta says ex-boyfriend Jim Leach owes for a loan to buy a car.
Ms. Ricotta, it is your claim that you gave Mr. Leach $4,500 so that he could go out and scout around for her birthday.
Yes.
Mr. Leach acknowledges that you gave him $4,500, but he says it was the return of a loan. This was your boyfriend for a period of time?
For 3 years.
So, Mr. Leach, I'm going to start with you, sir. When did you make Ms. Ricotta a loan?
The exact date was July of 2006.
And what was the loan for, sir?
Unforeseen expenses, household expenses, and also she had a very tight budget in terms of purchasing this car. So I was helping out with that.
Purchasing which car?
The car she was looking for her daughter for.
Tell me how these loans came about, Mr. Leach.
What
do you mean, sir, am I saying something confusing to you? Is English your primary language?
Yes, it is. Actually, I just had to think for a moment because...
Because you didn't expect me to start with you. That's why you had to think for a moment, because you didn't expect me to start with you. Well, your defense is that the money she gave you was a return of a loan. So, tell me about the loan.
Okay. She was telling me she was struggling in terms of meeting expenses, household expenses, and also at the same time in terms of what she was trying to do in purchasing this car. There was a lot of expenses that came up, so it was very difficult for her in order to meet those expenses.
How did you come up with a figure, Mr. Leach?
I'm sorry, excuse me? Yeah. How did she come up?
How did you come up with a figure about how much money you were going to loan her?
Because it was about how much it would cost to buy a car. I figured how much, from what I knew about, though it was going to be very difficult to find a car for that amount of money, but, we're going to try to see.
So you gave her the money to buy this car that she wanted to buy for her daughter. Is that what you're telling me?
Mr.
Leach,
yes, correct.
That's not what you say in your answer, but let's say you sort of forgot what you wrote in your answer. So you lent her the money to buy this car, and you were supposed to look for the car because that's your sort of strong suit, because you buy cars at auctions.
I have a friend who owns a dealership, and I thought that we could help her find a car through him.
So then why would you give her the money to give the money back to you?
It was her car. She would have to write the check for the car. She'd be purchasing the car.
Not necessarily, sir. You could have written the check out of your account. How did you know it was going to be $4,000?
I didn't. It was an estimate how much it was going to cost.
Show me the proof. Show me the proof. I'm dying to see your proof. Show me your bank statement, sir.
I don't have a bank statement with me. I have a canceled check showing the amount of money withdrawn.
Where's your bank statement showing that this money came out of your account?
I don't. It's a copy of the canceled check, the front and the back.
Show me the bank statement. You were supposed to bring bank statements, sir.
Sorry, I don't have a bank statement with me.
That's too bad. You have a bank statement to show me?
Yes.
Give that back to him, please. Thank you very much.
This transaction, which she's speaking of, in May of 2006, because he does have an auction, and I'm a single mother, and he knew I was struggling. He did not want me to take a part-time job, so he offered to help me with my finances, that we go in on a car together at auction, and we did. I put $4,000 in, he put $2,000. He did all the legwork, he went to auction, he sold the car, and for me loaning him the money, I made a $200 profit, which was good for me, worked for him, and I do have all the statements for that transaction. The canceled checks he's showing you is the payment of the $4,000 I originally gave him in May. So that was a totally separate transaction. And I do have bank statements showing it came out of my account.
Show me the money that you gave him.
Okay.
I'm talking about the money for your daughter's car.
Oh, okay.
As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Leach has been totally unsuccessful in persuading me that he made a loan to you.
Okay, that's what you have right there is for the transaction in October. And you can see there's a cancel money order that went into his bank account that did my bank.
That was in October.
Correct.
Does this look familiar to you, sir? This is a bank statement.
I know what a bank statement looks like. Let me ask you, can I ask you a question?
Can you ask me a question?
Yes, can I?
I don't know answers. All I know is proof. I know what proof is.
Okay.
Proof
A canceled check
money...
is not enough evidence to support.
Sir, anybody can prepare a copy of a canceled check.
Okay, what about the checks I wrote to her with
Show me the checks.
You have a copies of, with her name, with her endorsement on the
These are copies, sir. I'm looking for a bank statement showing me that money actually came out of an account.
Can you ask her if she...
No.
Oh, okay.
I think you're a hustler. She gave you this for $4,500. Money went into your account, $4,500. What did you do with
Before
the
that money came out of my account, and I think she will admit that, that I wrote those checks to her. She endorsed it.
Yeah, she just explained to me that there was some sort of an arrangement with the second car. Did you buy
do
another car at auction?
Yeah, there's another and she's made that claim before, and I actually have evidence to support otherwise that's not true what she's telling you.
Well, show me.
Okay.
Well, here I have something, Mr. Ricotta, in June of 2006, made out to cash. It says for Rosie. Who endorsed this?
I did. It's written on as...
So you cashed it, you endorsed it, and you wrote on for Rosie.
No, I wrote on Rosie, and then I endorsed it afterward.
And what did you do with the money?
I gave the money to her.
Did he give you money in June?
No. In fact, I have a bank account statement of the first transaction that I took out $4,000 in May, and that he paid me back the $4,000 with those checks that you see a copy of.
Okay. So you gave him the $4,500 when?
October 4th, 2006. My
Well,
daughter...
coming up to an anniversary. Would you mind telling me what took you so long?
I originally started suing him in December. At the end of December, I took him to a small claims court.
And what happened?
He did not show up. He claimed he did not receive the notice. So he obtained an attorney. He had the attorney file to set a new court date. So that was successful, and that's what led us to here.
Ms. Ricotta, I'm satisfied that you gave him $4,500. I am now also satisfied that you vigorously pursued the return of your $4,500 2 months after you gave him the $4,500. I mean, I don't understand why he took your money and didn't purchase this car. Is there any reason? Did you break up with him shortly afterwards?
Yes, he felt the day that he came to my house, which was December 1st, 2 days before my daughter's birthday, because I did want it for my daughter's 16th birthday. And even though we had broken up earlier in August, we still remained friendly and we'd see each other now and then. I felt that he felt we were still going to stay together. And
December 1st, he was at your house, and?
December 1st, he came to my house. I said, since you don't have the car in time for my daughter's birthday, I would like the money back. And I asked him if he still had the money. And he basically in turn said I called him a liar and a thief, and he felt disrespected, and he was hurt. He was hurt because that ended the relationship at that point. It was the last time.
Can I add something to that?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, because that's not what happened actually at that time. That night in question, actually, she accused me of stealing money, which I had not done. She was under the influence of prescription, non-prescription medication, and she had a lot of issues, depression, and she was taking it out of me. I mean, I can add a lot more insight, but, you know, it's the personal issues that, you know, that...
I don't have to go into personal issues.
Right,
All
right.
I have to know is, in my own gut,
Right.
is whether or not I believe, based upon the proof that's been shown to me today, whether or not she gave you $4,500 to go and look for a car for her daughter, and whether or not, because the relationship was over, you failed to return the $4,500. She has proof that she took $4,500 out of her bank. She has proof that that $4,500 found its way within a couple of days to your bank. You say it was the return of a loan. I am not satisfied that there was any loan that you made to her, because you gave me some convoluted story that, quite frankly, even you couldn't follow if you were sitting here. So I am satisfied that you did, in fact, take this money in the quest to buy this young lady a car, and you didn't return it. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,500. Thank you.
Christy Wise says ex-boyfriend Nick Knox owes for 2 different loans. Nick claims Christy was never his girlfriend.
Ms. Wise, you and Mr. Knox dated for a period of time, not very long, 6 months or so?
Yes.
No,
According...
not true. Never.
I'm not talking to you. And according to your complaint, during that time, you made a series of loans to him for various things. Gambling debt, some DUI fines that he had because he had lost his license. While Mr. Knox acknowledges that you gave him gifts, he says none of them were loans. None of them involved gambling. So, when did the two of you start this relationship?
I met him online and on a website called MySpace. My friends told me it was a good place to meet people, so I signed up and I got a message from him. I got the message at the beginning of January.
January of 2005?
Yes.
When did you give him this first chunk of money?
July.
So between January of 2005 and July, there were no loans.
Correct.
Did you see him? Were you dating?
We were not dating at that point. We only dated for like a month.
What month?
Month of June to July.
So between January when you met and June, did you communicate on the internet or not at all?
We talked on the phone. I went up and visited him, and we talked online too.
But in June you started dating?
Yes.
And the first money that you gave him was in July?
Correct.
That should have been a clue. What was the money for?
It was for, he went out and gambled when he was out drinking, and he gambled $1,000 and only had $500.
All right.
He called me and he told me about it.
I want you to tell me exactly what he said to you when he called you.
He told me that he had went gambling and he bet $1,000
On what?
on a card game, and he only had a $500, and the guy was going to come over the next day and physically harm him if he didn't have the money. And he didn't have the money the next day. He called me and told him that the guy had came over and physically harmed him, and then I went up the day after and gave him the $400.
That's a little stilted, what you just said to me. First he called and told you that if you didn't give him the money, he was going to get hurt.
Yes.
You didn't give him the money. Then he called you back and told you that the man came and actually hurt him?
Yes.
How did he hurt him?
He brought a couple of his buddies over and they got in a fight outside his house, I guess. That's what I was informed of.
When you went up there, were there any physical signs of his being assaulted?
Yes, his jaw was bruised.
Was?
Yes.
Black and blue?
Yeah.
And you gave him the $400?
Yes.
What did he say to you?
He said, "Thank you, I will repay you as soon as I can."
When was the next sum of money that you gave him?
August 15th. It was for his DUI for $250.
Tell me how that came about.
He called me and he informed me that he did not have enough to make his monthly payment for his DUI, and he asked if he could borrow some money. And I said, "How much do you need?" He said, $250. So I said, okay.
Well, did you know he had had a DUI?
Yes, he informed me
When?
back in January.
How did he tell you he had a DUI?
We just were talking, and he just told me the one, we got on the subject of driving, and he's like, "Well, I got a DUI."
Did he drive?
No.
So you did the driving.
Correct.
When did you lose your license?
November of last year.
How many DUIs have you had?
Just that one.
Must have been a bad one. Were you in an accident?
No. I was swerved over. I went left the center, and the police officer drove by me and gave me a DUI. I did the sobriety test and stuff, and then went to court. Well, I tried fighting it, but then we just really gave up on it because I admitted to it, so.
Well, what do you mean you tried fighting it?
Well,
Take your hands out of your pocket.
because they wrongfully arrested me, too. They were giving me, I passed all my field sobriety tests, and I blew the legal limit. And then they were shoving me around, pushing me around, slamming me into my car, just saying all a bunch of obnoxious things to me, making fun of my name. Just a bunch of stupid stuff. We tried fighting it, and then, because I had another
You tried
charge.
fighting it because?
I had more than one charge with it. I had the DUI, and I had a concealed weapon, too. It was just a pellet gun under my seat, so they're going to try and charge me with that. So they just dropped that down to nothing, and I just took the DUI.
Is this your first arrest?
Yeah.
Jacked out with the police?
Not really, no. I just.
Where had you been drinking?
I was with my girlfriend at the time then,
Yeah.
and we were at our friend's house having a couple drinks, and then I left and took her home. And then on my way home, I got in trouble.
And what kind of fine did you have to pay?
$1,500.
And how much time did you have to pay it?
2 months. I got sentenced in May of '05. I had 2 months to pay it.
Did you call her and ask her for $250?
No, she gave it to me.
So she gave you the $250?
I told her all about, we were talking on the phone. We never dated, first of all. Second of all, we were talking on the phone. I told her about my situation.
Tell me what you told her about your situation.
I just told her I got a DUI, and she's like, well.
Just a sec, she already knew that. She knew that from January. I'm asking you about the money that you were short.
Oh, I told her because she's like, well, you want to go out? I'm like, well, I have no money. I might have to save
Not
up for my
true.
fines.
Shh.
I'd save up for my fines and stuff. And then she's like, well, I can help you out. I want to get you back on your feet, you know. So instead of her driving all the time, I'd be able to get my license back and pay my reinstatement fee. So she told me she would help me out. She never told me I had to pay her back. She never said anything about that.
Let's say, Mr. Knox, that she didn't say you had to pay her back. Don't you think you had to pay her
I
back?
was going to.
Don't you think
Yes.
that's the right thing to do?
I was going to do that. Yes, I was.
Right.
That's
Good.
what I was going to do.
That's what I like to hear. I don't like to hear bums standing in front of me. I like to hear people who act responsible. Because, quite frankly, Mr. Knox, I could understand it if you said to me, you know, I met Miss Wise and I was involved with her and I cared deeply about her and we were involved in a relationship and I was short a little bit of money and she said, you know, honey, don't stress. I can advance it to you. I don't want you to worry about it. But according to you, you weren't involved with her. You never even dated.
Yes, we were.
You never even...
We did not date.
You never even dated. You never went out with her. So taking $250 from her, that would make you a bum. Go stand on a corner with a cup. Now I want you to tell me about the $400 for the gambling.
There was no gambling thingy. That is not true. That is just the most untrue thing I've ever heard in my entire life, actually. There was no, I got a gambling debt. I mean, I'm not a small guy. I'm not just going to have some guy come to my own house and beat me up in my own house. That's not true at all. I had no bruises on my face, nothing. I owe nobody money. The money she did give me, that was towards my DUI.
And how much was that?
That was $200. Pretty sure it was $200.
No. We're talking about two different amounts of money.
Oh.
Mr. Knox, we're talking about two different amounts of money. One was $250 for your fines, but you had additional amounts of money that you owed. How much was the second amount of money that you owed?
About $400.
All right. And what did you owe the $400 for?
My reinstatement fee on my license. My fines were already paid off by
Just a
then.
second. We're going to get there. On your best day, you are not as smart as I am on my worst day. Do you understand that?
That's true.
So while it's very possible that you took the $400 and paid your fines with it that you got from her, right? Maybe the story was, if you don't help me out, I'm going to get hurt. Now, since, Mr. Knox, you say that you were not involved in a relationship with her, and since you chose to take money from her rather than standing on the street corner with a cup, or in the alternative, getting a second job if you needed money.
I didn't.
Now listen to me. If you need extra money, what you do is you work for it. You don't ask other people who may be more smitten with you than you are with them to, when you know you have no feeling for them, just because you're a bum. Now, the only thing I'm doing to him now, it's hurting him a little bit, right?
Right.
Which hopefully will make you feel a little bit better. It certainly makes me feel better. Because I don't like people who take advantage of other people. It's not nice.
I know it.
Well, then, if you know it, why don't you pay her back?
I planned on doing that until other things started happening. That's
Like
when
what?
I had to get my cell phone number changed, my instant message name changed because I work 12-hour shifts at nights. So she would call me every single night, at least a dozen times a night. I have phone bill records to prove it, that she would call me at least a dozen times a night.
What would she say when she called you?
She'd call, I wouldn't answer because I'm at work, so I can't answer my phone. So she'd just keep calling and
Did you
calling.
ever call her back?
No, because she'd call private numbers.
Well, then let me ask you this question, Mr. Knox.
I couldn't call her back,
Mr.
though.
Knox, let me ask you this question, sir. You knew how to communicate with her via the internet. And if what you wanted to do was to sever all ties with her, because according to you, she was becoming obsessive. You didn't know that because you didn't speak to her, so you don't know whether she was calling you 100 times because she said, you know, you owe me money, and if you don't want to have anything to do with me, fine, but at least give me the money you owe me.
Sometimes when she would call, I'd answer my phone, she'd say nothing about money. She'd just be like, oh, hey, what do you want to go out? That's all she'd
Fine.
say.
And
Not true.
what did you say to her?
I said, no, I'm at work.
Fine. Why don't you just say to her, Christy, listen, I'm not interested in you socially. You have a girlfriend, or I'm involved in school and work and whatever. I know I have to give you some money, and I'm going to give it back to you, $100 a week until it's all paid off.
I tried doing that.
When did you try doing that?
I told her that I was going to, I asked her if she could send me in an email or something, her address to her house. I send her $100 checks every week in the mail. I told her I'd give her this, like she said she was going on vacation.
Just a second. Did he ever ask you for your address to send you money?
Yes, he did, but I had previously offered him the option to pay me every week, and he denied it.
Just a second. What did he ask you for your address for?
To mail me a check, so I didn't have to see me.
So why didn't you give it to him?
Because I asked him to do
No,
it
listen
sooner.
to me. So if he said to you, give me your address so I can send you a check, why didn't you give it to him?
Because he didn't want to do it when I wanted to, and I had already filed a claims court when he called me.
It was before. It was before claims
Listen,
court.
Miss
It was
Wise, don't throw the baloney at me.
Ma'am, I have a voicemail that he did send me, and it's him acknowledging he owes me money. The full amount.
Does he say what amount?
Yes, he does.
Oh, let me hear it.
In the mail from the United Mrs. McCord saying I owe you $1,086. Why don't we just do this? Every week I'll send you a check in the mail for $200 on the button every single week until it's paid off. I'll call you back later, and that's about it.
You hear $1,086? Good.
That's what he said.
Okay, well, that's an acknowledgement of a debt, Mr. Knox.
I knew I had to pay her back. I know
Well,
that.
then why didn't you say that to me in here and save us all a lot of time and
That's what
trouble?
I
I
was
got
gonna
other
do.
cases to handle today.
I tried settling it with her. She wouldn't. She wanted to come here.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,086. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Felicia Hammond is suing her neighbor, 22-year-old Ashley Francis, for damage to her car. Felicia says Ashley's son, 7-year-old Derek, scratched her bumper when he crashed his bike.
Miss Hammond, how long have you and Miss Francis been neighbors?
Approximately a year.
You have children?
No.
Who do you live with?
Myself.
How many children do you have?
One. Derek.
Cute. It is your claim, Miss Hammond, that this adorable little boy fell off his bike and scratched the bumper of your car.
Yes.
You want his mother to pay for that scratch.
Yes.
Can I see the picture of the scratch?
Yes.
You're talking about this little scratch right here.
Yes.
Does it have any other scratches on it?
No, ma'am.
So, tell me what happened.
On January 1st, 2005, I was looking out of my bedroom window. Derek was riding his bicycle in the middle of the street. He ran into my car. His front wheel of his bicycle hit my passenger back wheel. And the way the bike fell, I guess the pedal of his bike must have scratched my bumper. I immediately went outside to check the damages, and that's when I noticed the scratch on my bumper. I went back in the house, contacted the police.
That's one of the things in your complaint that I didn't understand. Why did you call the police?
For a police report.
Why?
Just in case she didn't want to pay, just for my evidence.
Well, instead of going over to Miss Francis first, before you call the police, I mean, that wouldn't have been my first reaction. I mean, might have been my first reaction if a big boy came up to your car and took a rock and scratched it. I mean, that's vandalism. Mm-hmm. This wasn't vandalism, this was an accident.
It was an accident, yes.
So I don't understand your overreaction in calling the police.
Well, I wouldn't consider it an overreaction, but that was just...
well, you may not consider it an overreaction. But I'm telling you it was an overreaction.
Okay, well, that's what I did, and then after that, I went over and talked to his mother.
What did you say to her when you went over
I told her that her son was riding his bicycle. He fell off the bicycle, and his bicycle damaged my bumper.
Did you tell her you would call the police?
I told her I called the police.
What was her reaction when you told her you called the police?
She just said, okay, we'll wait till they get here, and we'll take it from there. And she told me that she would pay me for the damages.
Is that the conversation you had?
Well, first of all, he fell off his bike. He came home to me, and his leg was all scraped up, and he was crying. 2 minutes later, I got a knock on the door, and she was telling me, your son hit my car with his bike. I saw him hit my car with his bike. You will pay for it. I told her right now I'm not in a position to pay for anything. Me and my mother had talked, and she asked, did I see it happen? Did Derek remember if it happened? Derek just remembered he fell off the bike.
Derek remembered he fell off the bike and hurt himself.
Right.
Let us say, Miss Francis, that Derek fell off of his bike and scratched the bumper of her car.
Right.
That's what happened.
That's what she's saying.
I'm telling you that's what happened.
Okay. Well, there was also several kids that always play in that neighborhood.
Don't make excuses. Derek fell off of his bike. She saw him fall off the bike at the exact same moment. He came home crying that he had fallen off his bike. He scraped his leg. It all fits. I don't care how many other people were around the car or around the neighborhood or around the planet.
Okay.
He didn't mean it. It was an accident. Unfortunately, Miss Hammond was not a good neighbor.
And the way that she...
I'm telling you, Miss Hammond, you were not a good neighbor. And if you had had little children, the first call wouldn't have been to the police to file a police report.
Okay,
the first call would have been to Miss Francis to say, your little boy just fell, is he okay? That would have been the first call. He fell and he scratched my car. Do you get it?
I get it, but I didn't know that he had damaged his leg.
Yes.
Just a second, of course. Well, that's the question you ask.
Well, he got back...
I want quiet. The question that you ask is, I saw Derek fall off his bike. Is he okay?
Well, when he fell, he got back on the bike and he rode off.
So he wasn't an extremist, which means he's okay.
He was, yeah.
As it happened, he hurt himself. Scratched leg, scratched bumper. How old are you?
7. He just turned 7 September 16th.
So he's thinking 7, okay? Your car is 10. He's 7.
Yes.
Scratched leg, scratched bumper. You got it?
Yes.
All right. You have an estimate for
Yes,
the damage?
ma'am.
I'd like to take a look at it. Is that about right, Bert? $300 to fix it?
Guess so.
$376 to be exact. You have to have a perfect bumper.
But can't they just paint the scratch? Because when we
Bumpers
scratch...
aren't, I'm told, that they're made out of a different material, that you can't use touch-up paint. Is that right?
That's right.
Otherwise, believe me, $9.95 she would have gotten a little touch-up paint and touch it up, but you can't do that with a bumper. I know. Somebody just did it to my bumper. Judgment to the plaintiff in the amount of $376. Okay.
Thank you,
Be a
Your
good
Honor.
neighbor. Goes
Wow.
much further. That's
you.
all.
Linda Perez is accusing her ex-boyfriend, Joseph Delgado Jr., of damaging her car and breaking her finger.
Miss Perez, how long were you and Mr. Delgado together?
A little over 5 years.
You have no children together?
No children.
Records indicate that this is not the first lawsuit that you filed against Mr.
It is not.
Delgado. When did you separate from him?
We separated in November of '03. I filed a lawsuit against him when I could find him. He was on the run.
Is that around the time that you allege he both damaged your car, which is the subject of this lawsuit, and assaulted you, broke your finger?
It is.
After that happened, he left. You did not live together anymore.
That's correct.
Now, this is one lawsuit. How many lawsuits have you filed, not about this charge, against Mr. Delgado in total? Because our records indicate you have had other cases against
4.
him. For what?
One's not resolved.
Well, what is it about?
A motorhome. I owned 3 houses, 4 cars, and a motorhome. And he took off with the motorhome. I gave him a car. And the other one has to do with tax issues. He hadn't filed taxes in 5 years. And the other one is the broken finger and the laptop.
Just a second. If he hadn't filed taxes in how many years, what does that have to do with you?
He contacted me to try and help him get it done, for my accountant to do it for him.
When had he contacted you?
May of '04.
Did you lend him money, allegedly?
I did.
Has that case been resolved?
That case has been resolved.
In
He
whose
paid-
favor?
I dropped the lawsuit because he was crying and pleading to drop the lawsuit that he would make a
Ms.
payment.
Perez, in May of 2004, did you lend him money or allow him to use your account?
I did not loan him money, but he was using my accountant that I'm in good standing with to do his taxes and didn't have a checkbook to pay him with. So I was taking on the debt because it was my accountant.
Were you speaking to her in May of 2004?
Yes, ma'am. We met with the accountant together on May 15th and signed my taxes. She had all my tax records.
You met together.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you met together, did you have lunch before you went to the accountant?
We met at a restaurant with the accountant.
So
On the way.
I'm speaking. So you had lunch together.
Yes, ma'am.
When did you contact Ms. Perez prior to May of 2004?
I had talked to her several times prior to that.
Where were you when you contacted her?
At the same home I'm at right now. I haven't moved or changed phone numbers.
Did you see Ms. Perez at any time between November of 2003 and May of 2004?
No, ma'am.
Did not see her?
No, ma'am.
That is not true.
That's not true.
No.
When did you see him?
I gave him 30 days to remove his items from the house. I was moving from San Diego to Los Angeles. He never took everything at one time and kept calling once a day to come pick something else up from the house.
So
That
you
went
saw
on
him.
for January 28th of '04. And I moved on February 26th of '04.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I can show here where I have papers where I sold my house in Oceanside and it closed escrow on January 12th. I have here canceled checks and loan documents were on January 22nd. I was in Kansas City, already purchased another home. I haven't been back here.
It's so fascinating to me because I'm gathering all kinds of information and you are taking positions, each of you, that is inconsistent with the position that you really want to take with regard to this lawsuit, just to fight with each other.
No, ma'am, I'm not. I didn't turn. That's my position.
Well, we're going to get there.
Sorry.
But what you're doing is you're not helping yourself because you're not thinking it through. Let me get there for you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Delgado. According to your complaint, Ms. Perez, sometime in November of 2003, at about the time that you separated, Mr. Delgado damaged your car. And after he damaged your car, about a week later, you got into an altercation and he assaulted you. You're going to tell me about those two things.
Okay.
Because that's what this lawsuit is about. So let's get there, and let's get there, Ms. Perez, quickly.
The assault actually happened on October 3rd of '03. The last time I ever saw him again was November 18th of '03.
Well, between October 3rd of '03 and November 18th, did you live together?
No.
Did you stay together?
No.
Tell me what happened on October 3rd, 2003.
Okay. He used to work at a hotel chain and called me one day to bring 8 kids home. Their apartments were not ready yet. They were to be employed at the hotel he was working. I allowed him to bring these 8 kids home, and it turned into a fiasco for the next 2 weeks until the apartments were ready. I have evidence of what my house was like, what his behavior was like.
I'm not interested. Could we get to the October 3rd, 2003?
Come to find out, he was fooling around with one of the kids staying at my house and would come home daily in a combative mood, and subsequently threw a cell phone at my car out of anger and took my car drunk, pulled into the garage and ran over a hand dolly. I have pictures before he did that, after he did that.
Was that on October 3rd?
The last event was on October 3rd. That was prior to October.
Talking about the car.
The car was prior to October 3rd.
Date?
September 27th.
Between September 27th and October 3rd, did you live together?
He was keeping hours at the hotel. He would stay at the hotel.
Ms. Perez, between September 27th...
Not as boyfriend and girlfriend, no.
Now, get to October 3rd, 2003.
My cleaning lady was at the house, and we were in the garage. And not to disrupt her cleaning, this is my cleaning lady, we went in the garage. We started having a heated argument over things that were happening with all the kids at the hotel. And it turned into a pushing, shoving, spitting match. He proceeded to spit in my face.
What did you do to him?
Pushed him off of me, and that's how my finger got broken.
Just a second. You said to me it turned into a pushing, fighting, spitting match.
Well,
match is your term. Now you've told me what you say he did to you. You tell me what you did to him.
Happened to be in the same room.
Well, you just told me that you just... Shh. Ms. Perez, you just told me that you broke your finger pushing him
off of me.
Well, how was he on you?
I was on the couch. He was towering over me.
You were on the couch in a garage.
Right. We had a computer, a television, a hockey table. It was like a game room.
So you're on the couch in the garage.
I don't allow smoking inside my house, and that's
You're on the couch in the garage, and he's on top of you.
Right.
And you pushed him off you.
That's correct.
And you broke your finger.
That's correct.
What else?
My cleaning lady at the time was inside cleaning the house. I went inside, got my keys, purse, and had to go pick up my 8-year-old from school. I went and picked up my 8-year-old from school, took him with me to the emergency room. And because he was with me, I really didn't want him knowing what was going on. So I went to the doctor and told him it had occurred from fooling around. Now, the break was a circular break, and it broke every...
You have the emergency room records?
I absolutely do, and
good
pictures.
Well, can I ask you this question?
I have a diagram.
Shh. I don't want a diagram. I don't want pictures. I asked you for the emergency room records. And if you were going to the emergency room, that you were just going to pick up your son so that he wouldn't be left out at school without someone caring for him.
That's correct.
Why didn't you take your housekeeper with you, who is here today, so that she could sit outside with your son if you were going to the emergency room?
She was leaving. She had another job to go to, and
Did you ask her to stay?
No, I did not. I was leaving.
It was an emergency. You were going to the emergency room.
That's correct.
Told the doctor you were fooling around, snapping kitchen towels.
That's correct, because my 8-year-old was with me, and I did not want to subject him to all the things going on. He had been around Joe since he was 2, and I really didn't want to crush or make him scared about any of the occurrences going on.
So what are you suing him now for? You don't think your son's going to know about this?
No, I've kept it from him.
Well,
he's in school.
10 million people watch this program, madam.
He's in school with after-school activities.
You've got a lot of excuses.
He goes...
Mr. Delgado, you want to tell me what, if anything, you remember about October 3rd?
You know, all I know is that we have a dog named Daisy that was a shepherd mix. We always used to take a towel, and she would get one in, and you'd grab her, and she'd like this and play with her. I came home. She said she was wrestling with the dog. Daisy pulled on the towel, and she broke her finger.
Your Honor?
She drove...
I don't want to hear you. You see how quiet he was?
She drove herself to the doctor and came home with the medical report, said her finger was broken, and they were going to wait and see for a few weeks whether she needed to have any surgery or anything else done on it. At the time, we had the same medical insurance. We were in the same house, everything. That was the last I ever heard it until 2 years later. I get this, my 4th lawsuit from her about that.
Your Honor, I have a diagram drawn by the doctor, the surgeon, of what needs to be done to repair my finger. My cleaning lady was there at the house and can tell you what she heard from inside the house. And we were in the garage. Come on.
Tell me your name, please.
Yolanda Marcial.
How long have you worked for Miss Perez?
More than 8 years.
8 years. Why didn't you go with her to the emergency room, Miss Marcial?
Because I was working in the house. I was busy in the house and I just getting ready to leave.
What time of the day were you getting finished with your job?
Around like 2 something.
In the afternoon?
2 something.
And where were you going?
To Oceanside.
What's in Oceanside?
I was working for another lady in Oceanside.
What time are you due there?
Around like, I got traffic around like 4 over there to Oceanside.
How long did you remain in the house after Miss Perez left to go and pick up her son?
When she left to get, okay, around like maybe like 45 minutes.
Did Miss Perez ask you to accompany her to the emergency room?
No.
Did you offer to accompany her to the emergency room?
No.
When she came inside, did she show you her hand?
She walked with the hand like that, and I know that something happened because I heard screaming in the garage and fighting in the garage.
When you heard screaming and fighting in the garage, did you go into the garage?
No. I'm only the cleaning person, and nothing.
You heard screaming and
Yes,
fighting
and
in the garage, and you didn't go in there? Did you
No.
call the police?
No.
You just went on vacuuming. Sit down, Miss Marcial. Put your hand down.
I have pictures.
Not interested in the pictures. More interested in the statement that you made to the doctor when you went in there.
I had my 8-year-old with me.
I don't believe that that's the reason you make up that kind of a lie.
I had to.
No, you don't. You have to say, would you go sit over there? And doctor, I want to tell you privately what happened. That's what you do. I mean, otherwise, the doctor believes what you're saying, correct?
Correct.
Correct. Because you give the doctor information, because based upon that information, it helps them treat whatever's wrong with you.
I came up with that story to protect my child.
No, that's a lot of baloney. That's baloney. I'm older than you are. I've been to the emergency room, both with myself and my children. Over the course of the years, little things happen. And you can always say, go over and sit there with that nice nurse for a second because the doctor wants to see me.
I tried to call 911, and he threw the phone and broke it.
Listen to me very carefully. You were out of the house. You went to pick up your child. You say to her, do me a favor, leave now and call the police. I'm leaving now. I'm going to the police. You did nothing. You did absolutely nothing except go to the emergency room on the 3rd for whatever reason and tell the doctor that you hurt yourself fooling around with a towel.
I was protecting my child.
You
so
keep saying that, and I keep saying to you, I don't believe you. Now, there's a lawsuit that she filed against you that she won a judgment for $1,000.
No, ma'am, she didn't win a judgment. She dropped the lawsuit. I paid the $1,000.
Tell me about that $1,000, sir.
After we'd split up, we hadn't talked for a while. I was behind on my taxes. Finally, I called Linda a couple times and talked to her, and we kind of were in an amicable position where I said, listen, I need to file my taxes. So she agreed that she would give me my tax paperwork and everything back.
Why did you leave without your tax paperwork?
I left just about everything I had there.
Why?
Because we're just not getting along, and that was enough.
When did you leave?
I don't remember the exact date, but I was out of there by the end of October.
So there came a time that you called her and said to her what?
That I wasn't coming back.
Taxes.
Oh, taxes. Well, I had asked for this before I left California, you know, and I was not.
Fine. So she said she'd give you your paperwork.
And finally, in about April of 2004, and then what she's telling the truth about the accountant, we used her accountant, I have the paperwork here, and I flew out here on May 15, 2004. We all three met. It was a respectable day. We didn't fight, nothing happened, we didn't argue. She brought the paperwork, she said. The accountant did the paperwork, and she did write the check for the $1,000, and I paid that back. And then I got back to Kansas City, where I live, and then on August 24th, I get from Blockbuster Video a bill from Canoga Park, 10 movies all rented in one day under my name. So I called out there and I said, listen.
Can I see that, please?
I said, I don't live in California, I haven't been in California.
Your Honor, all of our kids have the same Blockbuster card.
Well, yes, they do, and this is where it got real interesting, where Blockbuster knew who exactly rented them. Because our kids before, both of our older boys, would go down and rent movies, and we had late fees, Linda and I went to Blockbuster, and we put a password on our account. So in order to rent movies, you had to know that password. When I called this Blockbuster and said, I don't know this money, they said, yes, you're the primary person on the account, and the person that used that account used the password to get those movies. They rented all 10 of them one day and never brought one of them back.
That was in August of 2004.
And that's after all this. Sorry.
Okay. Tell me about the return of the $1,000, sir.
I took my credit card at Bank of America in Kansas City, and I went down and put that into her account.
So what was the lawsuit about?
I don't remember all there was a couple of things in there she was suing me for, but that was part of it. Immediately after I got back, she filed the lawsuit. I should have paid it quicker, but I had told her. But we were in contact the whole time. She knew, and then I went down and paid it. Then I flew out here. Then the lawsuit got canceled after I'd flown all the way out here. Then I go back home. Then this happened. It's like this car thing happened, this finger thing happened, but yet we're doing the taxes. We finally got the paperwork settled together. We meet at a restaurant to eat. You know what? You drop the lawsuit, I pay the money. She just said that. Then the Blockbuster thing happens out of no reason. 2 years later, I get 4 more lawsuits, and I'm going to fly back out here again. And at the time, the finger in the car insurance, we had even the same car insurance until December 12th. We never had any claims. We never had any problems. The health insurance that she went to the doctor with was my health insurance.
Your Honor, he got fired from...
I'm speaking. When did you file the lawsuit with regard to the taxes?
September of 04.
When did you drop that lawsuit?
The end of September of 04.
When did you file this lawsuit?
October 27th, I believe.
All right. Ms. Perez, I'm not going to totally annihilate you. I'm just going to do it very, very quickly because quite frankly, I have more important... I'm speaking! Your complaint says that the reason you didn't file this lawsuit sooner was because Joe went on the run and I was unable to locate him because he left the state. In September 2004, I was finally able to find him, and I immediately filed a small claims case against Joe for my car and assault damages. Once he was served, he contacted me, begged me to drop the case, and said he would start making payments. When I received his first payment of $1,000, I went and dismissed the case without prejudice. That is a lie. That's a lie. Because the case that you dismissed in September of 2004 had nothing to do with the car and the assault. I'm speaking. It had to do with the taxes, that he paid you the $1,000. So you dismissed that case. That's what you just told me.
It wasn't solely the taxes.
And you told me that you filed this case September 27th, 2005. Get over it. Put a period. He doesn't want to have anything to do with you anymore. It was 5 years out of your life. Move on. Goodbye.
Terry Mellinger is suing her son's former friend, 20-year-old Kenny Scott, for a loan for a motel room.
Is this your son?
Yes, ma'am.
How many children do you have?
Just the one, sir, ma'am.
Doesn't he have long pants?
He does, Your Honor, but he just flew in from Tucson where he's working out in the field and he's staying in a motel, so he has limited access to clothes other than his work clothes.
Could you bring him a pair of long pants?
But I just...
I mean, he's not going to the beach.
I know, and I apologize. Okay. I just wasn't thinking.
Ms. Mellinger, this is your complaint. Mr. Scott is a friend of your son's. Are you wearing long pants?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
According to your complaint, the two of them went off oil drilling something, got a job someplace, and they were rooming together. And according to you, you made a loan to Mr. Scott in the amount of $500 because he was short on cash. Stand up on your own 2 feet with your long pants, Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott says that you sent money, but you sent money at your son's request to your son. There was never an agreement by him to pay you back. That's your defense.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is your mother?
Yes, this is my mom, Charlotte.
Okay. Where did you go to work, Mr. Scott?
Well, at the time, we were stationed in Nevada, and then the following hitch, we were supposed to go down to Tucson.
And where is your home?
I live in Spokane, Washington.
How old are you?
20.
Were you paying your own way when you went to do this oil drilling?
Yes, I was.
You paid your own rent?
Not at home, no.
I'm talking about when you lived with him, when you were working. You were living together, correct, in a motel?
Correct.
Who was paying the bill?
He was.
Why?
Because I was unemployed before that, and we agreed that we would split the motel costs after I got paid, and I hadn't got paid until 2.5 weeks into the hitch.
Okay, and once you got paid, did you give him back the money?
No. Payments, and...
Am I scaring you? Am I scaring you?
No.
That's too bad. I must try harder. Now, you went to live with Dustin and you had an agreement, and your agreement with Dustin was, quite reasonably, that you would go to this place where you could both work and make a good living, make some money, and that you would split the room. But you didn't have any money.
Right.
So what Dustin does is he calls his mother and says, Mom, Kenny doesn't have any money. So I'm going to need some money to tide us over.
We talked about this agreement before we even left town. I said, I'm going to be broke, I'm going to not have any food, I'm going to need some help.
And?
He didn't help me with food or anything. He just paid for the hotel room and gave me a place to sleep.
Who paid the rest of the money? Your mother?
My mom had wired me some money for
How
food.
much did your mother wire you? No, don't look at her. I'm asking you, how much did your mother wire you?
$200.
About $200. And I'm sure your mother has proof of that, right?
Yes.
Right?
I Western Union the money and tried to get the receipt from them, and we didn't have time to get that.
Baloney. How much was the motel room?
Well, the first one we stayed at was a little higher price.
How much was the hotel room?
It's about $25 a night.
And how many nights were you there?
The first one we were there maybe about 4 or 5, and then we switched over because that hotel was run down.
Stand up. No, I can't stand to look at your knees. Over here. $25 a night. And what was the second room?
The second room was the same. $25 a night, 25.
And how many nights in total were you there?
The second room?
Both rooms.
Both rooms.
Dustin?
Okay. The first hotel was about 5 days, and the second hotel about 21 days in the second hotel, something like that.
So you worked a total of 26 days?
Yes.
$650 plus tax, right? So it probably comes to close to $800. Did you, in fact, give Dustin back $400?
No, I didn't, Your Honor.
Why not?
Well, it was told to me that I owed his mother. I did not owe Dustin.
You owed somebody for half the motel room.
I realized that.
So my question is, why didn't you pay it to either Dustin or his mother?
I started to pay it to his mother.
You did?
She agreed that $100 a month would work, and I gave her $100
good.
cash.
Right.
And next thing I knew, I had a letter in the mail saying we're going to court.
Did he give you $100 in cash?
Yes, ma'am. He did give me $100 in cash.
Did you write 2 checks to Mrs. Mellinger
Yes, I did.
on an account that didn't have any money?
Yes, Your Honor.
Don't encourage him. He did the wrong thing. You're 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a debt in this world, you're supposed to repay it. You're not supposed to take money from strangers and then make them enemies by not paying them back. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
The quickest way to lose a friend is to loan them money. I want you to remember that forever.
I will.
If you're a good guy and you lend somebody money, you lend a friend money, there's only one thing that I know for certain. You're going to lose that friend and you're going to be the bad guy. That's a lesson your mother should have learned a long time ago.
Your Honor, I've told Dustin that time and time again, but I am the guilty one here.
Well, you're the guilty one.
I
Because
didn't
here's
do
a
what I
young man
normally do.
who has a mother. If he needed money, he should have called his mother.
Right.
Judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $400. That's all.
17-year-old Tomas Plancarte Benson says former friend Daniel Tingen cheated him out of $200. Daniel claims he and Tomas were partners in a bank scam.
Mrs. Benson, this is your son. Mr. and Mrs. Naylor, your son, and it is your claim, Miss Benson, that the defendant's son defrauded your son out of a couple of $100.
That's correct.
By some sort of scam with your son's ATM card. Mr. and Mrs. Naylor say that this was not a scam by their son, but sort of a thing that both boys did because they wanted some money, and your son is just not prepared to fess up that he was complicit in this little scam. So he's blamed their son.
Okay.
So why don't the parents sit down for a second, because they weren't there, they don't know what happened. The only 2 people that know what happened are these 2 people who were standing in front of me. Your first name is what?
Tomas.
And yours?
Daniel.
Daniel, how long have you and Tomas been friends?
For a couple of years now.
So why don't you tell me, Tomas, your version of what happened and when it happened?
All right. This situation all started on January 23rd of this year when I had lent Mr. Tingen $40 from my own bank account.
Where were you when he asked you for the money?
I was at home.
And where was the money?
It was in my bank account.
And where was he?
At his house, I presume, yeah.
Well, how did he contact you, sir?
Yeah, he called me. He had called me from his house.
And said what?
And said he needed $20. The first time. There's 2 transactions here. One earlier in the evening and then one later. And
Look at me, sir.
I'm trying to collect myself. I'm very nervous.
He called you once and said, I need $20, not 40.
It's 40. He asked me for 40 altogether. The first time he said he needed money for
Mr. Benson, you're tripping all over yourself, sir. You're tripping. Look at me. You're tripping all over yourself, Tomas.
I'm very sorry. I'm very nervous.
Get unnervous, Mr. Benson.
It's very hard. Sorry.
He called you in your house on January 23rd and said, I need
$20 first.
Okay. And you said?
Okay. I didn't ask him what he needed it for.
I didn't ask you. And then what did you do? Did you say, I'll meet you at my bank? Come over.
Yeah. I said I'd meet him halfway there. Like, there's a street that we meet at, and then we head to my bank.
So you went to your bank on January 23rd and took out $20?
Yeah, just $20 first.
And you gave it to him?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
And then he called me later that evening and
Just a minute. Then he went home and you went home?
Yeah. Then we went home.
Go ahead.
And then he called me later that evening saying he needed another $20. And so I said, all right, but that's kind of a lot of money that I'm lending to you. Could you pay me interest on it or something? And he agreed $10 interest, which would make it $50. And that was our agreement. And the way he was going to pay me back was getting a check from his grandma in the amount of $250 later that week. He was supposed to be getting this check. So then we agreed that I would cash this check through my bank. Then afterwards, I waited till for...
Look at me. Don't look there.
I'm sorry. So then I was going to wait for a call from him. And then I finally got the call on February 2nd, Wednesday. And he said that he finally got his check from his grandma. And we'd met up. And we headed to my bank. And I looked at the check. And it was in the amount of $250. I signed my name to pay to the order of Tomas Benson. I have all this information right here. I have all this evidence.
I didn't ask you for anything. I asked you to tell me the story.
All right, we headed to my bank. I had looked at the check, seen that it was in the right amount.
You told me about that already.
Yeah, and then I put it in the envelope, put it on the ledge, grabbed my wallet to get my bank card out to the bank, put it in the machine, typed in the amount, $250 deposit, and sometime between that time, I believe that he had switched the envelope. He had took an envelope with the check in it, and
Don't tell me what you believe, sir. I'm not interested what you believe.
But yeah, I put it on the ledge. I typed in that I would deposit it.
You told me that already.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you.
Don't tell me again. I have a very good memory.
Then I put the envelope into the bank, and then I withdrew $200 from my own account, and I gave it to him then because I thought the $50 was supposed to be mine, and then I'd give him $200 out of my own bank to make it even. And then afterwards, we just parted ways.
Subsequently, you advised that they had no envelope, they had no check, they had no nothing, and your bank account became overdrawn. Is that right?
No, I had money in my account.
Okay, but you were advised then that the account never was credited with $250 in that check. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you thought that was a big scam. Mr. Benson, after you gave him the $200 in cash, where did you go?
Back to my house.
Where did he go?
I'm not very sure.
Okay, go. Let's start with January 23rd with the two $20 bills.
That's not true. He never loaned me $20 two times. That's not true at all.
I have statements here.
You don't have a bank statement showing that you lent him $20 twice? You have a bank
but
statement
I have
that they withdrew $20?
Two withdrawals for the amount of $20.
So what? He says you never lent him any money.
Well,
That's
I can
what he
show you
says.
my bank statements here. They show there's 2 transactions on that day.
I believe that there are 2 transactions on that day, sir. But you have no proof. I believe that there were 2 transactions on January 23rd. There is absolutely nothing to suggest that those 2 transactions had anything to do with him, other than your testimony. Is that right? Is that right?
I guess, yes.
Good. Go ahead.
Okay, on January 27th, when he did pull up the $200, we both split the $200 with that. I was supposed to, in interest, I was supposed to give him $50 later for it.
Just a second. You're getting ahead of yourself, Daniel. On the 27th, what happened?
Okay, me and Thomas met up. We had an idea. We were going to go deposit a slip with no check in it. We both knew what we were doing.
Just a second. On the 27th, you were going to deposit a slip.
Yes.
Just a deposit slip.
Yes.
Whose idea was this?
It was both of ours.
So you were going to put in just a deposit slip with no check.
Yes.
Draw out $200, but you would owe him $150. $50 of that was interest.
Yes, which I would have to pay later.
What made you and the defendant get together with this little scheme?
Because we wanted money to go out and party that night.
What night?
That night that we did it. I'm not quite sure what day it was, February 2nd, I guess.
Did you go out afterwards?
Yes.
The 2 of you?
Yes.
Where did you go?
Just to people's houses and stuff.
Well, what'd you need money for?
To buy stuff.
Drugs?
Party. No, not drugs.
What?
Alcohol.
Did you go to mutual friends' houses? Look at me. Did you go to mutual friends' houses?
Yes and no.
What do you mean yes and no?
Well, I didn't know some of the people. We went over to somebody else's house I didn't know. We went over to one of my buddies' house that we both knew.
What's his name?
Josh.
Your Honor, I was barred from the premises of Cherry Park Apartments, so I could not go over to Joshua's
Why were you
house.
barred from there?
Because of an incident with my brother.
No. He got kicked out because they found out that he was dealing.
Dealing what?
Drugs.
No, I had actually been barred because I had a fight with my older brother who also lived in the apartments.
Tomas, if something doesn't make sense, it's usually not true.
What is it that doesn't make sense?
Your slick story. Now, Daniel, at first when this scam was discovered, what did you tell your parents?
I didn't tell them anything about it at first. I just thought that the less they knew, the better, I guess, at the time. I know I did something wrong. I didn't really want to fess up to it at the time, but now I think it's the right time. I shouldn't be blamed for everything. We did it 50-50. I'm admitting that we both did it and it was wrong, but I don't want to be the only one to blame.
Okay.
And another thing here.
Is that a police report?
Oh, yes, it is.
Can I see it, please?
And here's the case suit, which here, I'll show you both of them.
Miss Benson, is your son on probation?
No, he's not.
Had he been?
No.
You hesitated there for a moment.
He is going to LifeWorks program that he's going because he had a drug and alcohol problem.
When did he start it? You can stand up now.
He started, I think, in January of this year, I believe it was.
Miss Benson, when did you find out about this money?
Right after the incident happened.
Well, tell me about how you found out about it.
I had found out because Thomas had gotten a letter in the mail saying that there wasn't a check in the envelope. And so he had come to me and told me he was very furious. And then he had made contact with the bank to find out what happened. He wanted an investigation.
So the first you found out about it was when your son came to you.
Yes.
And showed you what?
Showed me the letter he'd gotten from the bank.
Which is right here.
Yeah, I believe that there was nothing in the envelope.
And I would have no reason to put a fake deposit slip in there because I had money in the bank already. If I really wanted to party, I could just pull money out of my bank and it'd be no problem.
Who handles this account for him?
He does.
How old was he when you let him start to take care of this money?
He started working when he was about 15, and he's really good with his money, very tight-fisted, and that's what I don't understand.
Well, he's not so tight-fisted if he was using some of his money for illegal things.
That is true.
Yeah, that's
However, I mean, when this incident happened, there would be no reason for him to put a fake deposit slip in there. If he already had money in there, all he had to do was just go out and pull it out.
That's true.
And they cut.
That's the only thing that I find troubling. Stand up. The only thing that I find troubling, quite frankly, is if this was his mother's bank account, or one that there was a joint bank account, and they had, in fact, his mother of the money,
right?
I could understand he would stick to his story. But this was his money. If he was going to take money out of that account to split to go partying, he can do that.
Yeah, we're not denying the whole story. I'm saying the whole thing sounds fishy to me.
Well, it does sound fishy to me, but the question that I have to ask myself, why would Mr. Benson get this letter from the bank on February 2nd that says there was no check in this deposit envelope and take it to show his mother?
I have no idea.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me
because
either.
if what he wanted to do was take out $200 and go partying with his friend, he would have done that. So why would he do this?
I have
Can
no
you
idea.
think of a reason?
Well, we weren't exactly both sober at the time either. We were the influence of alcohol, too.
You were?
Yes.
If you were under the influence of alcohol, why would he make up this story about a check and an envelope? Where had you been drinking?
Or we just walking around and stuff around town.
We hadn't been drinking. I wasn't drinking at all.
Well, first, when this whole thing started, they did come over to our house, and I was in the other room, and my husband was asking Thomas about this check, and he said that there was a check. My husband asked, okay, what was the color of it? Do you remember whose name was on it? What is the extra $50 for? And he said he was charging him $50 for cashing a check. And my husband asked him, why would you charge somebody $50 for cashing a check? I'm not, if these boys both did something, I didn't have a problem of paying the money back. I just wanted to come down to the bottom of the truth. And that's why I feel like we're here today.
Well, as I said to you, my problem is, why would he go to his mother?
Exactly.
If he was complicit in this incident.
I have no idea.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
And if it doesn't make sense, it's usually not true. The bank says there was no check enclosed. As a result, we've debited your account. Due to the nature of this transaction, we have disabled your ATM card to ensure that nobody is going to use it, but you can get another ATM card.
Actually, they would not reissue me a card.
They cut it up right there.
Yeah.
And they won't give you another one?
No.
They were very sorry they had to do it because
And I was
he had built
very
a report
embarrassed
with
and
them.
humiliated because I would never defraud my bank. I knew everybody there very well, and I was very responsible with my money. I budgeted very well.
Well, that's not true. You bought some drugs with your money.
Every now and then.
What?
Every now and then, but...
Right. So that's not 100% accurate, right?
Well, compared to other people my age, I believe. Because a lot of people my age don't have bank accounts, don't have as much money as I did.
Miss Benson, he's very slick. He really is. He's very slick. I'm not sure, and I'm not convinced.
Well, I don't think he would have gone through all this trouble.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unless
making a police report.
He just gave me a reason. When did they cut up your bank card?
A few days after I received that letter, though.
Few days. Just listen to me carefully. When did you make a police report?
It was April 3rd or 4th.
After they cut up your bank card?
Yeah.
April 13th.
It was after they cut up my bank card.
Well, that's a reason. That's a reason.
We tried to contact them. We were told by the officer that took the report to contact the family that it was a civil matter, and our phone number was blocked.
I don't care. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about whether your son was aware of the fact that there was nothing in this deposit slip that the two boys brought to the bank in order
I did not know that. I thought...
Listen! That's my job to figure out. He gave me a perfectly cogent story. You did not give me a perfectly cogent story. I'm still not comfortable that you were actually part of it. But I'm not comfortable enough, quite frankly, Mr. Benson, of $20 here and $20 there and another $10 in interest, making it $50. I don't know what it was about. Maybe it was drug money. Maybe he was selling you something. Who knows? I'm not comfortable with your whole story. I'm also not comfortable with saying to you that you were part of the scheme. That's not what I have to determine today. What I have to determine today is whether or not they're going to pay you either all or half of what came out of your bank. And since what you're asking me for is to make a determination that the Nailers owe you $250, I'm not prepared to do that because I'm not totally comfortable with your story.
Ma'am,
What?
it's 200, not 250.
Thank you for correcting me, sir. What difference does it make?
That's correct. What difference does it make?
Right.
My son had also asked...
There's no further issue. I'm not prepared to rule that you are entitled to $200 from the defendant because I'm not totally comfortable with your story, Tomas.
All right. Can I show you some emails that I'd sent him beginning March 27th?
No, show me
22nd?
emails that he sent to you.
Well,
They're answering them right here.
Does he acknowledge that he owes you the
Yes.
money?
Yes.
Let me take a look at it.
This began March.
Hand them all.
This was on the...
Shh. See these emails?
No.
I have more right here,
Yeah, I
too.
also have more right here.
Continuation
see
of all
them.
that.
What's that all about, sir?
These aren't even from me.
Yeah, they are from you. What do you think
No,
about that, sir?
They're not. Seriously, they're not from me.
Who's Rob's dad?
Robert was his next-door neighbor.
And what kind of work does he do for Rob's dad?
Who? I'm sorry,
Your
who?
son.
He does. They can do yard work for him.
And has he done that in the past?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what it says there. I'm doing work for Rob's dad.
Yeah, but I didn't write most of this.
Couldn't have made it up.
Shh. Got it? Look at me, Mr. and Mrs. Naylor. Now you got it?
Yeah, I understand. I just don't understand about the check. This is what the whole weird thing is.
Listen, I don't understand about the checks either. I don't. And I'm not certain whether Tomas is talking about $100 or $200, because nowhere in there does it say how much you think he owes you, because according to him, he acknowledges he owes you $100, right?
Yes.
But not $200.
No. I asked for another check, actually.
Well, why would you ask for another check? If he didn't have a good check the first time, why would he give you a good check the second time from his grandmother?
I know.
Interesting. And you did write that, Daniel.
Not all of it, though.
Daniel!
Daniel, just tell the truth. If you did
Yeah,
it wrong.
not all of it, though. I'm telling you, but yeah.
So you acknowledged you owed him some money.
Yes.
Yes.
And you acknowledged that you had a job and that you were going to get him some money.
Yes.
The question is 100 or 200. Is that it?
It's 100.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $100. That's all.
Peggy Price is suing her ex-boyfriend, Corey Emerson, for loans to pay rent, fix his bike, and travel to his brother's wedding. Corey says the money she gave him was never a loan.
Ms. Price, Mr. Emerson was your boyfriend for a brief period of time, and according to your complaint, you made a series of loans to him. You want your money back because he broke off the relationship. He says that he did break off the relationship. Any money that you gave him during the relationship were gifts because you cared for him. He needed the money. That's what people do, care for each other. They help each other out. And the only time it became a loan was when he broke up with you. Is that your defense, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are you, Mr. Emerson?
30 years old.
Ever been married?
Yes, ma'am.
How many times?
Just once.
When and for how long?
I was married when I was 20 for 9 years.
You have children?
2.
How old are your children?
9 and 10.
Do you see them?
Almost every day.
So you're a good father.
I try to be, ma'am.
What kind of work do you do, Mr. Emerson?
I work for the railroad.
And how long have you worked for the railroad?
6.5 years.
Pay child support?
Yes, ma'am.
What about you, Miss Price? How old are you?
32.
Ever been married?
Yes.
When and for how long?
2000 until 2005.
Have any children?
2.
How old are they?
5 and 13.
Do you work?
I do.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm self-employed hairstylist.
Children see their father?
Yes.
Do you pay child support?
He's disabled, so they get Social Security.
And your former wife, sir, what does she do?
She has an in-home daycare.
So it would be a fair statement, Mr. Emerson, to say that both of these families are sort of struggling to make ends meet financially. That be a fair statement?
I wouldn't say that I'm struggling, nor would I say she's struggling at all.
Really?
That's correct.
You think there's plenty of money to go around?
I do.
Then why would you take money from her, Mr. Emerson?
I didn't take any money.
No, listen to me, sir.
Oh.
You did take money from her. Whether it's a gift or a loan, you did take money from her, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, if these two families are in pretty much similar circumstance, why would you take money from her?
Things come up, you know, things need to be paid. She offers to pay for those things. I wasn't going to say no.
Why not? Is my question. Why not? Would not a person with a certain moral compass say, listen, you're a working gal, you got 2 little children, I'm a working guy, I got 2 little children.
Somebody offers me money, who am I to say no?
A creep. That's who you are. Because whether I determine this was a gift or a loan, you're a creep. You're not talking about somebody who's got plenty of extra cash and says to somebody that she cares about, listen, I got a lot of extra cash. You need something, I'll help you with it. You were pretty well aware of the fact, if you were dating for a while, that she's a hard-working gal who comes home from work, takes care of her kids, does the cooking, whatever, does everything that has to be done. And you, on the other hand, who see your children every day, which is really very nice, probably have much less responsibility with regard to doing their laundry, with their appointments, with regard to doing the general stuff, what I call the grunt work, because your children do live with their mother, don't they?
Yes, ma'am.
So now we're going to decide whether you are a creep that took the money because it was a loan or a creep that took the money because it was a gift. Either way, I don't approve of your behavior. When did you start dating Mr. Emerson?
The second week of May 2006.
Tell me when and under what circumstances he asked you for the first amount of money.
He wrecked his bike, the fork broke. He said that he didn't have the money to pay for it. Sent me a text message, can you do me a huge favor? That's how all of them start.
Could you do me a huge favor?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What did it say?
I need money to pay for the fork for my bike.
Okay.
So I said under the condition that he make payments, whatever, eventually it's got to be paid back.
When did you tell him eventually he has to be paid back?
I didn't set a date. I just said, you know, whenever you can pay me back.
Okay, so and how much was that for?
This check was for $409.81.
Okay, next.
Then he was having problems. He didn't have enough money to pay his rent. So
how did you find out about that?
He sent me a text message again asking him to help him pay his rent. And I said, how much is it? And he said it was $640 with late fees. I said, how much do you have? He said he had like $400 in the bank. And I said, I can help you out, but once again, it's, you know, we're adding this on. So I wrote a check for $640, but he gave me $403 of it.
Go ahead.
Then he had to get home. His brother's wedding was like a month before.
He had to go to a wedding?
To Montana. And, you know, we talked about it, and I'm like, I can help you out. If you want me to, whatever, I can help you out.
I don't want whatever. You're in court now, Miss Price. You have to be specific about what you said to him and what he said to you, and I want you to trust me on this. I know what you're making up, and I know what you're not making up.
Right.
Do you understand?
Right.
So a month later, he had a wedding?
Yes.
Where were you when he asked you for the money for the trip?
We were at a bar.
And what did he say to you?
He just said that he didn't have the money to get there. Could I help him out?
And what did you say?
I said, I can do what I can, you know, but...
And how much was that?
The plane ticket was $346.60, and the Greyhound bus that I put him on, because I waited till the last minute to get the plane ticket, and it was going to be $900. So I wasn't going to do that. I didn't have the money to do that, and he knew that. So I sent him on a Greyhound, and that was $159.
Okay, and that's it?
Yes.
And what date was that?
He left on the 1st of August and returned on the 8th.
And when did you and Mr. Emerson stop seeing each other?
He came in on the 11th, which was a Friday, at about noon.
To your salon?
My work, yes. I proceeded to give him and his son a haircut at no charge, thinking everything was okay, because we'd had no problems up till then. And I got a text message 6 hours later from him saying that we needed a break, and, you know, this wasn't working, it was moving too fast. And so we went back and forth through text messages, and I said, you know, I have the right to know why you're feeling this way. I've done everything in the relationship I've given.
And he said? He
said, since you're giving me an ultimatum, it's over.
Okay, now, Mr. Emerson, it's your turn. June. June!
June, the mountain bike. I wrecked my mountain bike. It was going to cost about $400 to fix it. I had talked with Peggy about the price, and she offered to pay for it.
What would you talk to her about the price for?
Well, we're in a relationship. We talked about, you know, I talked about wrecking my mountain bike and, you know, what it was going to be to fix it. And
why would you tell her that? Why don't you tell your ex-wife that?
Actually, I did tell my ex-wife that.
Did she give you any money?
No.
You have living parents?
Yes.
Yeah, well, your mother loves you for a longer time than the plaintiff did. Why don't you call your mother and say, I broke my spoke?
I didn't need to. The plaintiff had already offered to pay for it.
She wouldn't need to have offered to have paid for it, Mr. Emerson, if you didn't have a problem. And you wouldn't have had a problem if you called your mother, or your father, or your brother, or your sister, and said, could you loan me some money? Then you wouldn't have even had to mention it to her.
It was offered to pay for it, ma'am.
Well, what about Mr. Emerson? You need not do that. I only know you 8 weeks. And I wouldn't think of taking any money from you because I have a mother who gave birth to me. I have an ex-wife who I support along with my 2 children. I have a brother, sister, father, you know, who I've known a long time. I wouldn't think of taking money from you. How about that?
Didn't even cross my mind.
No, that's because you're a creep. Now, Mr. Emerson, you want to tell me what cathartic event happened between the 1st of August when you went home to your brother's wedding and the 11th of August when you had your haircut and your son's haircut for free at Miss Price's salon that caused you to send her a text message that said, we need a break?
It had been leading up to that.
I want you to tell me the cathartic event between August 1st, when you left on a plane ticket that she purchased for you, and when you came back on a Greyhound bus ticket that she had purchased for you that caused you to say, we need a break.
Okay, it was...
Follow my train of thought, sir.
It was big deal was the plane ticket. She tells you she's going to do something and she'll play along with the story. I'm going to do this. I've got it taken care of. Don't worry. I'll do it.
Just a second. Just a second. Let's get rid of the gobbledygook, sir. What you're complaining about is
the fact that she does not follow through.
Listen. What you're saying is she sent you home by bus instead of plane. Is that what you're telling me?
That was one of the problems, yes.
Oh, very good. Major creep. Major creep. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,154. That's all.
Dora Huff claims a strange son-in-law, Paul Veloff, owes for bail money she posted on his behalf.
Ms. Huff, the defendant is your soon-to-be ex-son-in-law. I assume this is your daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is your claim that he owes you money for bail.
Yes, ma'am.
And that he agreed to pay you back once you had bailed him out, and he has declined to do so. Mr. Veloff says you made no agreement with him with regard to the bail money. You made an agreement with his wife. So if you want the bail money paid, get it from your daughter. That's your defense?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Veloff, how long have you been married?
13 years, 14 years?
13 or 14 years.
13.
You have children?
Yes, 2.
How many?
2.
When were you arrested, sir?
It was filed on July 4th, but I actually turned myself in on that Sunday, which would have been, I think, the 6th, 7th? Of July, I'm sorry.
7/7 of 06?
Yes.
Was this the first time you had been arrested, sir?
Yes.
And this was for domestic violence?
Yes.
And the domestic violence alleged that you either assaulted or threatened or harassed your wife?
Right.
Were you in or out of the house on the 7th of July?
In the house.
No. Okay. Mrs. Veloff, when did you complain about your husband's conduct to the police?
The incident of 4th of July.
Tell me about the incident.
We have been having marital problems for quite a while, and a recurring situation came up again that he was not working and taking care of his responsibilities. It escalated into a yelling argument that turned physical. Shortly after, well, the argument went on for quite a while. He was restraining me. I was not allowed. I was undressed coming out of the shower. He wouldn't allow me to get dressed. He wouldn't allow me to leave the master bedroom. Finally, when I did get out of the bedroom, I made it down to the lowest floor of the house, got a phone, and dialed 911. While I was on the phone with the dispatcher, he left the property. While he was gone, they dispatched 2 sheriff's vehicles to the house. They took my statement, took photos.
A copy of the statement, please. Do you have a copy of that police report?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay. They took photographs of what?
They took photographs of the marks on my body and the damage to the home.
What kind of marks did you have on your body?
My arms were bruised where he had grabbed me and forcibly threw me on the bed. My neck was irritated and red.
Your Honor, I do have a copy of the...
I'd like to see them. Where were your children when all this was going on?
There was a 4th of July community picnic that my daughter was at, and my son was outside playing basketball with a friend of his. I believe, well, he was in the driveway. I think they were playing basketball.
How old are your children?
14 and 12.
What's the status of this protective order?
The restraining order?
Yeah, what's the status of the case?
The case was dismissed.
When was the case dismissed?
It went to trial while my mother and I were in Italy for 2 weeks. It was dismissed because I did not show to testify.
Why didn't you appear to testify?
I was in Italy.
Why did you go to Italy during the trial?
It was already pre-planned, the trip. All of the subpoenas for me to appear were in my mail when I got back.
Your Honor, this was a 2-week Mediterranean cruise. We had planned 7 months prior to take all the kids and grandkids, everybody.
Got it. But, Ms. Veloff, after he was arrested, because he turned himself in, according to your mother's complaint, he called you and asked you to bail him out, right?
Yes.
How much was your bail?
$2,000.
And why did you think your wife would bail you out when she was the one who filed the complaint?
Well, I called her because it started getting really rough in the jail, and I've never experienced anything like that. And I called her.
How rough was it?
They found knives, shanks.
So you wanted out of there?
Yeah, and it was Wednesday night. The other inmates were starting to get their commissary or whatever they buy for the week, and a lot of it was like cold medicine, and they were chopping it up and snorting it, and I could see attitudes change, and it started getting really scary.
So you were frightened?
Yes.
So you called your wife?
Yes, I did.
And what did you say to her?
I asked her to call my dad to see if he would bail me out.
Why didn't you call your dad?
Why didn't I call my dad?
That's exactly what I said. Why didn't you call your dad? Why are you calling the alleged victim instead of calling your father directly? Don't you speak to him?
Yes, I do.
So then why didn't you call your father yourself?
The phone calls I was able to make were very limited.
Well, I know, I understand they're very limited. I've been in the justice system a very long time. There's no reason that you're going to be able to give me that I'm going to be satisfied with, sir, as to why you didn't call your father yourself.
I don't know.
Ma'am.
Maybe your wife is going to tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you call his father?
First of all, he called the house and spoke to our son, who then called me. So by the time I got the phone call Our son was frantic with worry, thinking that his father was in mortal jeopardy.
Okay.
And then I did go and call his father, and his father said no.
That's why you didn't call him.
No, that's not true. He said
Otherwise,
no-
sir,
he said no.
sir, you know, if something doesn't make sense, it's usually not true. How old is your son?
14.
Before I would involve my 14-year-old son in the fact that I was incarcerated and I was frightened for my life, I would call my father. If I had a decent relationship with my father and if I felt that my father would want to protect me, I certainly wouldn't involve my teenage child. That's not being a protective parent.
I did not know he was going to answer the phone.
What kind of just a second. What kind of dumb answer is that?
I mean,
What kind of a dumb answer? So because he answered the phone, you unloaded on him?
I didn't unload.
Well, of course you did. Okay. So now you're between a rock and a hard place. You got your 14-year-old child saying you got to do something to get Dad out of jail. You got his father who says, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not putting up any money for him. You don't have any money, so you call your mother.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you say, you got to help me out here. You got to help me out. And she goes down and she puts up the bond. That's so far what happened.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when you got out of jail, Mr. Veloff, who was there?
Who was there? My kids, my wife, and my mother-in-law.
And what did you say to your mother-in-law?
Thank you.
What else did you say to her? What else did he say?
And he hugged me, and he thanked me, and I told him two things. One, he had to get his act together, and two, because he didn't have a job, he had to pay me back, and he owned 2 cars, which he'd already told Tracy he would do. I expected him to sell one of the 2 cars.
To pay you back?
To pay me back
Just
for my
a sec,
credit card. I'm sorry.
And did he pay you back?
No, ma'am.
Why should your mother-in-law pay your bail?
I didn't ask her to.
No, you didn't ask her to. That's absolutely right, Mr. Veloff. You did not ask her to. But you promised to pay her back. But you promised to pay her back. You didn't ask her to, and absolutely, if you hadn't said to her, I'm going to pay you back, that unfortunately for Miss Huff, there would have been no recourse. The truth of the matter is, at the time that she put up the bail for her daughter and her grandchildren. Because as far as she was concerned, you could have rotted in hell. I'm sure. I'm sure. If she didn't have grandchildren, that's probably what she would have said to her daughter. Let him stay there. But she has grandchildren, and you can't do that when you have teenage grandchildren. You can't say, listen, you're going to let your father rot in jail, so he's going to call here and he's going to complain that somebody's going to shank him. Mr. Veloff, as you see, sir, I have zero sympathy for your position morally, and I have zero sympathy for your position legally. If you had not told your mother-in-law that you would pay her back.
I promised to get my act together and get a job.
Just a second. Just a second. Did you get your act together?
Yes.
Did you get a job?
Yes.
Good. Now you have money to pay her back. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,020. That's all. Step out.
Mitchell Carson is suing the mother of his child, Michelle Harris, and her husband, Todd Harris, for the return of attorney fees for a failed adoption.
Mr. Carson, you and Mrs. Harris have a child together. How
Correct,
old
ma'am.
is that child?
He's 8 years old, ma'am.
Did you ever live with him?
No.
This is your claim. The mother of your child, Miss Harris, is married to Mr. Harris. They've been married for how long?
3 years, Your Honor.
Do you have any children other than this child?
Yes, 2.
Your former girlfriend, you weren't married,
No.
is that right? And you spoke about the possibility of her husband adopting your son. And you thought about it for a while. Ultimately, you agreed that that might be a good idea. And you went ahead and hired a lawyer.
She hired the lawyer. She said she has to petition the lawyer.
You paid for the lawyer?
I did, because they said that they couldn't afford it.
She subsequently changed her mind
Correct.
about the adoption, and you want that money back.
Correct.
Why did you change your mind about the adoption?
We never did change our mind, Your Honor. We simply moved out of the area. I had been searching for work for a good 4 years and couldn't find anything but maybe temp work or part-time. We couldn't afford to take care of our children, so we started looking elsewhere for work, and Oregon had a great rate of employment, higher wages, lower cost of living, so we decided to move there and then pursue the adoption when we got settled.
Mr. Carson, when was the last time you saw your son?
I believe it was about 3 years ago.
Why?
We just had such a lack of communication together, and she lived about 100 miles away, and it just made it real difficult for us to communicate together. And that was probably a lot of my fault, because I should have remained involved.
Okay.
But that's why we were, the end result was the adoption.
Mr. Carson, when was the last time you supported your son?
I pay child support every month.
How much do you pay?
I pay $400 a month.
Is he up to date in his child support?
I think he's a little bit behind, but not much.
I believe him when he says he pays child support. So you're not able to use this lawyer?
Correct. What it ended up happening was I paid for the attorney, And then they sent me some documents, which I signed. It was just simple, one form that I had to sign to my release of interest or whatever you'd like to call it.
Termination of parental rights.
Correct. And then it was on her. And about 6 months later or so, I contacted her attorney, and her attorney had said at that point she hadn't spoken with her, had no contact with her at all, and actually at that moment said, you know, I don't even think she's going to do this. Which is fine. I don't. If she doesn't want to do the adoption, I mean, I'm completely capable and okay with paying child support, you know, till he's 18 years old. But when she came to me with the idea of doing the adoption and I agreed to it, I thought in good faith, when she said they couldn't afford it, that I paid for it, that they would go through with it. And then I called her and asked her why she wasn't doing it. It was at that point that she said it was because, you know, financially they couldn't do it.
So they needed your child support to help support the household.
Sure, correct. And also at that point, I had contacted Michelle to find out what was going on, and then she told me she was moving. According to our document, she has to give me 30 days written notice of moving. I had no idea she was going to move until I contacted her to ask her what was happening.
Well, that may be written into your contract. However, since you haven't seen your son in 3 years, it really doesn't make much difference. Mr. Harris, are you working now?
No, not at the present time.
Are you working now?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
For whom?
I work for a company that deals with clinical technology services for
How much
a
do you
hospital.
earn?
$15.25 an hour, and I support all 5 of us.
No, you don't support all 5 of you. He helps support all. When was the last time your husband worked full-time?
I
And
would
where?
say it was for a landscaping company in Olympia, and it was a year and a half, 2 years ago.
We're not sure of the exact date.
Well, she says it's a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Well, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Why is that ridiculous?
It's ridiculous not to work when you have 2 children. When did you move?
We moved in March of '06.
So you moved from, just a minute, so you moved from one place where he can't get a job for a year to another place, and now he's still not working.
No,
Doesn't that
that's
clue?
not exactly correct. I worked for a company in Portland as a steam cleaner. I did that for 2.5 months. I also worked doing mill shutdowns for a temporary job. It's not like I haven't worked.
So I'm glad you're working. I'm glad everything is wonderful with you. The strong probability exists that they're not going to let you off the hook so fast.
Ma'am, can I add something, please?
Yeah.
The reason why they told me why he's having a hard time finding work and why they couldn't do the adoption is because when they moved to Portland, Michelle told me that he had a warrant out for his arrest. She told me that's what kept us from going into court. Her attorney told me that when they moved to
Just
Portland...
a second. Well, that's very easy to
Am I in
figure
jail?
out. Shh. Turn around. What was the warrant for, Miss Harris? I
had
didn't
an
speak
old
to you.
parole
I didn't speak to you. I said, what was the warrant for, Mrs. Harris?
His warrant was for parole violation from 1996.
When did you know about his parole violation?
We didn't know about it until we moved to Oregon. However, we discussed past legal issues with the attorney, and she said that that shouldn't make a difference. Also, just to clarify, we had no agreement with him to pay him back.
Well, but no, just a second. But you had an agreement to pursue the adoption.
Correct.
That's your agreement.
I didn't.
And
You wanted my son.
No, just Mr. Carson. Shh, Mr. Carson.
Sorry, ma'am.
I'm just saying, Your Honor, at no time had I talked to Mitch about the adoption.
Then you can sit down. Because you're not working anyway. She's working. She'll pay. Sit down. Sit down. You had an agreement with him that in exchange for giving up his parental rights, your husband would assume the parental responsibility, which includes support.
And
what happened was it became very secondary in your mind with all the other trouble that you have. You have now 3 children in your house. You're working at $15 an hour. Not great. But you can't do that. If he's giving you the money to pay for the lawyer, which he did, because you agreed to pursue this matter and then change your mind, in my mind, you've breached an agreement with him.
We never made an agreement to...
Just a second. That's why you're here.
We never said we wouldn't do the adoption, Your Honor. Circumstances
Then when you...
stopped it.
Listen to me. When you move back to the jurisdiction where he can use the lawyer that he paid for, you could sue him for the money. Right now, you're going to pay for the lawyer. How much was it?
The total amount that we ended up paying the attorney was $1,062, ma'am.
We weren't living off of his child support. We honestly wanted to do the adoption.
Well,
and
listen
when we
to me,
moved,
Miss Harris. You've been married once?
Twice. This is my 2nd marriage.
You weren't married to him so that you had, I would consider, 3 relationships. 2 marriages, 1 relationship. Is that fair? You have 3 children?
Yes.
How old are you?
I am 34.
The likelihood of this man celebrating your 25th wedding anniversary is 0. So that, as far as I'm concerned, it would be very unwise for him to adopt this child. Judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,062.
Thank you, Your
That's
Honor.
all.
Amelia Tarabi is suing her neighbor, Jessica Golden, for damage to her car caused by her pit bull. Amelia claims the dog scratched the paint while sunbathing on the roof.
Mr. Robbie, you and the defendant are neighbors, and according to your complaint, the defendant has a couple of dogs, large dogs.
Yes.
You had a new car, and it is your claim that her dogs jumped on both the hood and the roof of your car to get the sun and cause damage and scratching to the car. You want the defendant to pay for that damage. And in addition to that, you say that you were forced to park in the street at some point and got a parking ticket. You want her to pay the parking ticket. Forget the parking ticket. You park in the street, that's your problem. Let's get to the scratched car. What kind of property do you live in? Do you live in a condo unit? Do you have a private house?
We live in a duplex, so it's just the two of our units, and there's a long driveway, and there's a gate which sections off the back where we park our cars. We're both allowed to have 2 cars back there.
Is it a backyard?
There's a yard, and there's also a concrete driveway, as well as garage space.
Did you ever see the defendant's dog?
Yes.
When?
It was about a week after I noticed the damages. When I got back from out of town and I noticed the damages, I called her and I told her what had happened.
Tell me what you saw.
I saw dog scratches all over the hood of the car.
I understand you say that the car was damaged and scratched. A week later, you saw her dogs on the car. Tell me exactly what you saw.
Okay. I looked out of my kitchen windows. I was walking by it, and I saw her dog on top of my car on the roof, where there would be a sunroof, laying on the roof.
Were her dogs regularly in the backyard without being leashed?
Yes.
Did you ever discuss that with her?
Yes, but it was just something that was put to me that that's what I got this apartment for, and my dogs are going to be in the yard. So there was nothing I could do about keeping her dogs in or out of the yard, and they'd start barking at 7:30 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, but they had never caused damage to any of the vehicles back there before.
Did anyone else see her dogs on the top of your car?
Yes, the day that I looked out of my kitchen window, my friend Andrew was over, we were having lunch, and I saw the dog on my car, and I ran down the back stairs to shoo the dog off of my car, and Andrea was still upstairs.
Your last name?
Labe.
Tell me what you saw, Miss Labe, and if you remember the date, I would appreciate it.
I don't remember the exact date. It was mid-October.
Okay.
I was over at Amelia's house. We were in her kitchen. She happened to cross by the window that looked into the backyard. She looked out the window and said something to the effect of, "Oh my gosh," and ran down the back staircase. I went over to the window to see what she had seen, and as I looked out the window, I saw a white and brown pit bull sitting on the top of her car sunbathing, just kind of laying there, sunbathing. And as I continued to look, I saw Amelia go into the backyard and shoo the dog off the car. It proceeded to simply get up, walk down the front of the car, and get off the car.
You have pictures of the damage?
I do.
I'd like to take a look at it.
There's also pictures of the layout of the backyard and all of the scratches. And there's a picture of the dog as well.
What happened when you called the defendant?
When I first noticed the scratches and the damages, I called her. I was at the grocery store. I had just gotten out of my car, and I called her, and she apologized and said that she would pay for the damages and that we had to figure out a solution so that this wouldn't happen again. And then about a week later, I got an email from her saying that she had spoken to her mother and other people, and they didn't feel that it was her responsibility to pay for the damages.
Did you have the car fixed?
No, it has not been repaired yet.
Did you get an estimate?
I did get an estimate. I've gotten 3 estimates, and I picked the one that's right in the middle.
I'd like to see all of them. Okay, Miss Golden, why are your dogs let out in the backyard without any supervision?
Well, it's a fenced-in yard, and that's part of the reason why I moved there originally, because it's so hard to find yard in Los Angeles. So I thought it would be great that I could have a yard for my dogs. But there is a 3-car garage that she could park her car in that she just chooses not to. If she actually thought there was a problem with my dogs have never...
They were on the hood of her car.
I've never seen my dogs...
I don't care whether you haven't seen it. There's no question. I don't care whether you've seen it or not.
That's fine.
They saw it, and she saw it, and I absolutely believe them that your pit bull was taking a sunbath.
This is the first I've ever heard of that, so she never told me that.
That's not
She said that the car was scratched.
No.
When she came to me...
Miss Golden, She came to you and said her car was scratched. She wanted you to pay for it?
Yeah.
She didn't say to you, I just saw your car?
Absolutely
the
not.
Dog?
We were in my bedroom. She
Yeah.
came to me very casual and said, this was on October 8th, and she said, there's a couple scratches on my car that your dogs did. I go,
That's
no
not
worries.
true.
It was like, it was just something that came out of her mouth.
Oh, no.
I
Ms.
said,
Golden,
no worries.
that's not true. That's
is
not true.
true.
No, my dear.
It is
That is
true.
absolutely not true.
It is true.
I wasn't even
I mean, you
back.
could say it, and I can say it.
We were sitting-
but I
she was
guarantee
sitting on
you.
my bed.
Listen
I
to me. I
remember.
guarantee you the last word will be mine. Playpen. This is my playpen. She does not look like a nut, and her friend does not look like a nut, and there would have been no reason for her to come across to your house that day unless she and her friend, who I absolutely believe, saw your dog. I mean, your dog wasn't doing anything terrible, wasn't chewing off somebody's leg, but was taking a sunbath on her car. And my question to you is, it's nice to want to have a nice backyard, but when you signed your lease, you also knew that the defendant had the right to park her car back there, as you do.
Well, because of this, I've had to get rid of the
Just
dogs.
a second. Does your lease provide that your dogs can be in the backyard unsupervised?
Absolutely.
Let me see it.
Her lease.
I don't
only
have
had
the
that
lease.
she
It
had
doesn't
one
say
dog.
anything about the dogs, but I'm allowed to have full reign of the yard.
I
Or we
just want
share
to
the
see,
yard.
just a second. I just want to see that your lease provides that you're allowed to have dogs that have full reign, unsupervised, in the backyard. Show me that.
I
in your
don't have
lease.
my lease with me.
I have emails from the landlord saying that she was in
Don't
violation
tell
of the
me
lease.
what the emails from the landlord are.
There's cats also that are in the yard, and raccoons and possums, and we have fruit trees with rats, so a lot of animals come into our yard.
That's very possible.
So I have pictures of cats that were in the yard.
You have
that
pictures
were
of
right
cats.
next to the...
Just a second. Do you have pictures of cats that were on the roof of her car?
Absolutely not, but neither does she.
She doesn't need any pictures. She has a witness who I believe.
I have two 60-pound dogs, and if a dog were to go on the roof of her car, I'm pretty sure that it would dent the top of her car.
You have an expert?
All the three
my
places,
question is, do you have an expert witness
Not
here
that
to
would come to-
testify
No.
that if a 60-pound dog sat on the roof of a car, it would dent it?
Not with me today, but the
Well,
people that
today
I
is when you were
called, that
supposed
was
to
that
come
what
to
they
court,
said.
Miss Golden. Today is when you
I couldn't
bring your
get
witnesses.
anybody to come because they all had to work, and nobody
Miss
wants
Golden,
to deal with courts.
I'm not interested in sad stories. I'm telling you, I'm not interested in cats in the backyard, in raccoons in the backyard, unless you have pictures of them or somebody saw them on the roof of her car. She has a witness who I believe, and I believe her, that the reason she came to you was because she had this happened a week before, and she had no idea how it happened. Until that day, she looked out the window, and unfortunately for you, she saw one of your dogs taking a sunbath on the roof of her car. I absolutely believe her. Otherwise, she would have come to you immediately and said, listen, I have to pin this on somebody. I might as well pin it on your dogs. Right?
Well, I didn't want to pin it on anybody, but I knew it was her dogs because they were in the backyard unsupervised, and there was 3 of them.
I don't care whether it was 3 of them or not. She could have had 30 dogs unsupervised. Unless you saw one on the roof, you weren't going to convince me that her dogs are
park
responsible.
her car there for a month after this had already happened.
She what?
If my dogs did it, why would she continue to park her car where my dogs were and continue to let her car be damaged?
What would you prefer that she do? Rent a car
we have a
space someplace
driveway
else?
that fits outside of the gate where my dogs usually are. There's a driveway that fits 4 cars.
Where do you park your car?
I park my car in the gate, but sometimes I park it outside of the gate.
But you park your car behind the gate. Shh, listen to me carefully. You live in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Is there a reason you park your car behind the gate?
I park my car behind the gate because I have a son, so it's easier to let him in and out.
How old is your son?
2 years old.
So he gets in and out of the car by himself?
No, I'm saying.
So what
it's
difference does it
easier
make whether you
when I
park
pull
the
in the
car in the
back,
gate?
like have the groceries and everything. I'm not
Ms. Golden,
worried about
you got an
letting
answer
him
for
out.
everything. Charge him for the plaintiff the amount of $2,400. That's all. Go get the car painted. That's all.
Pamela Beverly is suing the mother of her daughter's schoolmate, Rhonda Mayo, for medical bills and pain and suffering. Pamela claims 12-year-old Jessica Mayo injured her daughter at school.
Miss Beverly, this case really involves your daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
You weren't there when this incident happened, but it is your claim that the defendant's daughter injured your daughter. You want her to pay the medical bills.
Yes, ma'am.
But you weren't there. You don't know. Let's have the girls up and the mom seated, please. Tell me your name.
Crystal Beverly.
How old are you, Crystal?
13. Jessica May, I'm 12 years old.
Okay, Crystal, why don't you tell me when this happened? What date?
I think March 27th.
Were you friends?
Yes.
How long have you been friends?
Since the first day of school.
So since September?
Yes.
And this was March, so you've been friends for a long time?
Yes, ma'am.
You like each other?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me what happened.
We were walking down to the bus for dismissal, and when we were stopping off the sidewalk, she had booty bumped me, and I fell.
Now, what is a booty bump?
It's when you bump somebody with your butt, you go like this.
Just like that?
Yes, if she did it harder, and then that caused me to fall.
Show me.
We were down from the sidewalk. She went like that, and I fell. And then she walked over to the sign that said Crittenton, and I laid there crying. And then one of my other friends came up to school and helped me get to the bus.
That's okay. And you had to have surgery on your kneecap?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's hear your version of what happened.
We were coming down the stairs of the school in the afternoon. We were going to the bus stop. Then I gave her a booty bump, and we were still talking and laughing and walking. Then she tripped over her own footstep.
That's not true.
So you're telling me that you gave her a booty bump?
Yes.
You went like that?
Yes.
You weren't angry with her?
No.
And you continued to talk?
Yes, we were still talking and laughing and walking.
And it was later that she fell?
Yes, and she fell over her own foot.
Would you step up, please? Miss Beverly, I want you to tell me the exact conversation you had with your daughter when she got home.
It was on March the 24th, Your Honor, and she told me that they were walking to the bus stop and Jessica booty bumped her and she fell on her knee. I thought it was just a bad sprain, so I didn't take her to the emergency room until the day after.
You have the medical report, please?
Just the medical report.
What were your unreimbursed medical expenses?
It was $1,083.
All right, Miss Mayor, why don't you stand up with your daughter?
Your Honor, may I say something else?
Yes.
The day after I came from the emergency room, before I spoke to Miss Mayor, I spoke to Jessica to see where the story's the same. Jessica told me the exact same thing. She booty bumped Crystal and she fell and hurt her knee.
Is that right?
That's not true.
Okay. You have anything you want to say to me?
Yes, ma'am. When Jessica had told me that her and Crystal were playing at the bus stop and that Crystal had fallen, I said, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know how serious it was until after Mrs. Beverly spoke with me on the phone. And she did tell me that Jessica and Crystal were playing and Crystal fell.
Well, they were. There's no question in my mind that your daughter did not intend to cause injury to her friend, right?
Right.
But sometimes when you fool around, that happens. I mean, there's no issue that your daughter did not intentionally harm Miss Mayo's little girl. But they were fooling around, and she gave her a
tap. Yes, a bump.
And she fell. And she didn't fall afterwards. She's making up. She fell then. She didn't mean to hurt her. It wasn't an intentional thing. It was, as Crystal said when she first started, an accident. That's the way you described it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you lost your balance when she gave you that push.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay. That, Miss Mayo, suggests to me that you should be more than willing to contribute to the unreimbursed medical expenses that your daughter's fooling around caused. Because, but for the fact that she gave her a nudge, she would not have tripped and fallen, and she would not have had this injury. Certainly, you are not entitled to pain and suffering, Miss Beverly, from the defendant, because I don't believe that this was an intentional act. I think that these two young girls were friends. I believe that in all probability, your daughter has done this booty bumping ever to other people.
Yes, ma'am.
Fortunately, nobody got hurt. Do you understand, Miss Beverly?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,083. Thank you.
John Allen claims former friend Karen Stevenson owes for a loan of $1,800.
Mr. Allen, it is your claim that the defendant borrowed some money from you. She's a former girlfriend of yours. Ms. Stevenson says that you're a con guy. She never borrowed any money from you. She doesn't know what you're talking about. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Go.
Okay. Yes, we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and we decided to part ways, and we remained friends. On about the middle of September, about a week before I actually loaned her the money, she called me in desperation, said Lisa had taken a checkbook that no longer existed, a checking account, wrote a check out for $1,800. She needed money, that the bank was pressing charges, and
she wrote out a bad check?
Yes, Lisa.
Is Lisa here?
No.
Where is she?
She lives in Florida.
Who does she live with in Florida?
Herself.
What does she do for a living?
She's a cashier.
Ever been arrested?
No.
Ever been charged with crime?
Lisa? No.
Lisa?
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
So at the time when she called me, she said, I need this money. If I don't pay
Look
this
at me.
$1,800 back.
For Lisa?
For Lisa, they're going to arrest me because it was drawn on my bank account. So...
Oh, just a minute. Where do you live?
Salisbury, Maryland.
You live in Maryland, and somehow Lisa got hold of one of her old checkbooks.
Yes, ma'am.
And Lisa forged a check for $1,800.
Yes.
But there was no longer an account.
Yes, ma'am.
And Lisa cashed a check in Florida.
Somewhere, I don't know actually, when she said, but it was a check written on this account, and it bounced, so the bank was going to press charges, and if she didn't pay the money back, they were going to put her in jail.
Put who in jail?
Karen.
It's not true.
She didn't write a bad check.
Well, that's what she told me, ma'am.
That sounds ridiculous.
Okay.
I mean, doesn't that sound ridiculous? How old are you?
I'm 40, be 42 in March, ma'am.
42. What do you do for a living?
I have a few businesses. I'm going back to school, getting my real estate degree, and
What kind of businesses do you have?
I have a business running a company. I started in 1990.
What does it make? What does it do?
Well, I buy and resell food as like a Cisco or a U.S. food service.
You do that now?
No, right now I am in the process of going back to school. The company
So now you don't do anything?
No, the company still exists. I'm collecting my accounts receivables and stuff like that. Yes, ma'am. I'm still in the process. I have real estate I'm selling. I do various different things.
Who do you live with?
I live with my brother right now. I'm in the process of selling my real estate, my home.
You're in a
yes.
process of doing an awful lot, Mr. Allen.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Are you in the process of going through a bankruptcy?
No, ma'am.
Did you go through a bankruptcy?
No, ma'am, I haven't.
Did you ever apply for a bankruptcy?
No,
Did you
ma'am.
ever consult with a lawyer about a bankruptcy?
Yes, I have.
When?
I consult with my lawyer in September, August, September, October, just discussing...
September of 2006?
Yes, ma'am.
About the same time that she was asking for some money?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, why would you consult with an attorney about a bankruptcy, sir?
I'd just gone through a divorce that, the settlement of property had to be dispersed. I had loans with my company, just seeking my different options, out there. It was discussed, but it was never gone through. I'm in a process of selling my assets to pay debts. That was my choice to do it that way. I want to make sure all of my bills are paid. That's why I'm selling my home, other real estate. I have a $1.5 million piece of business real estate that I'm in the process of selling.
What's the mortgage on it?
$790,000.
When did you purchase it?
I purchased it in June of '04.
In whose name is it?
It's in my company's name.
Which is?
Paradise Produce Company Incorporated.
Who else is a partner in Paradise Produce?
Nobody.
Current on your mortgage payments?
Not at this time, no. They are in the process of being sold right now.
Is there a contract for the sale of the property?
Yes, there is a contract for the sale of the property. It's pending on other things, that's going on in the community. So,
You got a lot going
yes,
on in
ma'am,
your
I do.
life, Mr.
I'm a very
Allen.
active man.
You're got a lot going on.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, so she asked you for this $1,800, and what did you do, sir? I just wanted to get a sense, because I have to figure out who's pulling my leg and who's not.
I wrote her this check out from one of my bank accounts. I have numerous bank accounts because I have personal things, business things, and all that. And I actually wrote it out to her name and put loan on the memo. I handed this check to her on September 26th, and she took it, and I said, you can go right down the road and cash this check at my bank.
Where did you give it to her?
I gave it to her in the shopping center parking lot. I met her in Del Mar, Delaware, on the Delaware side. So that night, she called me back. She says, well, I don't think I can cash this check. I've lost my license, and I don't have a current checking account. I said, well, you can go right to the bank and cash this. I said, I made it out to you, and there's money in the checking account. She said, no, I'd rather you go to the bank and cash a check. And I said, well, let me think about it. And I said, but I would need this other check back. So the next day, I went to Laurie. This is my witness, Laurie Collins. Can I bring her forward, Judge? Or?
Who are you?
I'm a friend of John's.
What kind of a friend?
Close family friend for over 30 years.
Okay, go ahead.
So I went by Laurie's house. I discussed it with Laurie. I said, Laurie, I'm going to probably loan some money. I have loaned some money. She wants me to take the check back and go to the bank and cash the check and give her the $1,800. And Laurie said, well, just make sure that you keep this check here, the first check, if she gives it back to you.
First check is of no value.
Right.
Unless I can test for fingerprints on it.
Right. And then the second check is, I wrote her name in the memo that I cashed this check. Here's
Yeah,
the
well,
legal.
that's what you wrote.
And I went to the bank.
You cashed the check and wrote her name in the memo.
Right. So I told Laurie, I said, Laurie, I have loaned this lady some money. I said, as a friend, I just wanted somebody to know that I had loaned her the money.
Was she there when you gave her the money?
No, ma'am.
Good. Sit down.
And at the time I wrote the check out, I have bank accounts with different amount of figures in it. You know, right now, $25,000 on this. If I needed it, she claims that I needed the money for myself. I don't need it.
Just show me the account where you took out the $1,800.
Yes, right there.
Okay.
Your Honor, he states that the first check that he wrote me, he had $1,800 in that account. That's the check he first gave me. I subpoenaed his bank records. $1,800 was not in there. He had
Can I see it, please?
Yes, ma'am. He had $72.79 in that account.
Let me see. Can I see that check, please? Sir, you wrote her a check on 9/26 for $1,800. You didn't have $1,800 in that account.
Right.
On which you wrote this $1,800 check.
Right.
Well, why would you write her an $1,800 check and tell her to go?
Because I was going to make a deposit in the account. I moved money from different checking accounts. I have interest-bearing accounts with my business and everything like that. I move money when I need money to pay bills like in the business.
Yeah, but you didn't move any money here, sir. You didn't move any money here. 3 days later...
She gave me the check back because she said that she couldn't cash it.
I understand that.
Because she didn't have a
listen
license.
to me.
Yes, ma'am.
That was not the same day, sir. You already testified. It was the next day that she called you and said, I don't have a driver's license,
ma'am.
and therefore I can't cash this check.
Right.
Now, you had already told her to go and cash the check, which she could have done on 9/26.
That's right. That's right.
Okay? On 9/26, if she went to your bank,
yes, ma'am.
and deposited that check, they would not have cashed that check because there was no balance in that account.
They could have moved the money from my business account, which is with the same bank, to cover my overdraft.
There's no overdraft privilege in here.
I'm sorry, I did lend this lady some money.
Go ahead.
He also says he gave me the $1,800. I was leaving that day to go out of town for a wedding. I was running around getting my nails done, my hair done. He didn't give me $1,800.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now, let's start out with the conversation that you had with him about Lisa.
There was no conversation about Lisa. He knows she was in town for maybe a week or two. She moved back to Florida. I don't have a checking account. I don't have any checks. I haven't had a checking account in 3 years.
So you never had a discussion with him about a loan?
No.
Never had a discussion with him about giving you any money?
No.
Why do you think he would make up this convoluted story?
Your Honor, his business account had been frozen because he owes so many people money. Okay? He couldn't even make payroll. John and I continued to talk. We were good friends. He wanted me to help him take the money out of his county bank and put in a safety deposit box, put in my name, and he wanted to put the cash in there so they couldn't touch that money. Then I told him I didn't want to be involved in that because they're going to want to know where this $21,000 is. I didn't want that in my name. I didn't want any part of that. He tried to get several people to do that, and I wouldn't do it.
So what you're saying is he tried to get several people to accept checks?
Yes.
From him?
Yes.
And squirrel away the money?
Yes.
In the event he decided to go through this with this bankruptcy?
Absolutely.
Keep going.
I mean, he says in one statement that I was supposed to pay him back in 2 weeks. John and I continue to be friends. He had a surprise birthday party for his brother. I was invited.
Don't tell me. Just tell me about the money.
There was.
When you told him that you didn't want to participate in this scheme,
yes,
what did he say to you?
That he had a couple other people that were thinking about taking the money and putting it in a safety deposit box, storing his personal property so it wouldn't be auctioned off, which it has been.
What personal property did he want to store with you?
Pool tables, big screen TV, four-wheeler, living room furniture, kitchen furniture, I mean, bedroom suits. He had a 2-story house fully furnished. All that stuff has been auctioned off.
They've been auctioned off by whom?
An auctioneer.
At whose?
I guess at his request. I really don't know. I know that his house was for sale.
Did you have an auction?
Yes, ma'am, I did. To pay my debts and everything, the pool table, big screen TV, all that stuff was auctioned off to pay debts that I incurred during the divorce. I am in process of selling 2 pieces of property, a business piece of property, all my assets to pay my debts. I am not filing for bankruptcy. I am
well,
going to be
it's a little
paying.
more difficult now to file for bankruptcy,
Yes, ma'am.
sir, because what you're suggesting to me is if you own a piece of property that's worth $1.5 million and you have a $790,000 mortgage,
yes, ma'am.
if you file for bankruptcy, you're not going to see any of that money.
Yes, ma'am.
So in order to see any of that money, if you pay off your creditors now, then you'll be able to maybe walk away with a couple $100,000.
No, ma'am, I'm not going to walk away with anything. My assets are about $2.2 million. I owe about 2.1. So, time I pay auctioneers, you know, realtors, all that stuff.
So it doesn't pay for you. So you have assets of $2 million and you have debts of about the same. So you can't go into bankruptcy. That doesn't mean you're bankrupt. It just means that you have to go to work. Business people, you have mortgages, you have attorneys, you have all kinds of other things, and you're not unfamiliar with court.
Yes, ma'am.
So here you come to a court and you say, I made a loan to this lady. Put your hand down. I made a loan to this lady. I did not memorialize that loan in any way. This check is of no value.
Right.
Because she never endorsed it. I can take out my checkbook and write out a check to Petrie Hawkins Bird in the amount of $10,000 and say, I gave him this check.
Right.
He gave it back to me, and I gave him the 10 grand in cash. And this is some evidence that I gave him that money, right?
Right.
I didn't give you any money to her. No. So this is evidence of nothing.
Right.
The only evidence that it is, sir, is that she subpoenaed this bank account, which says at the time you allegedly wrote this check out to her, you didn't have sufficient money to cover the check in the bank.
Right.
Now, you did have another bank.
Yes, ma'am.
Where you could have written a check that would have cleared.
Right.
As a matter of fact, according to you, you did just that 3 days later. You didn't go to this bank, where you could have moved money around. You went to this bank, where you took out $1,800. All of this leaves me with a very uneasy feeling, Mr. Allen.
Yes, ma'am.
And if I have a very uneasy feeling, sir, the fact that you brought a witness that says that you told her all about this loan is of no value. So, Mr. Allen, it is possible, just possible, that you loaned her $1,800.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
You understand my problem with your proof, sir?
I understand. I understand.
Are you sympathetic with me, sir?
Yes.
Good. Case is dismissed. That's all.
Thank you.
Nina Taylor is suing 25-year-old Amanda White for taking back a 1998 Ford Contour she donated to her. Amanda claims Nina misappropriated the donation.
Ms. White, according to what I read, you gave Crystal a car.
Yes.
So you gave it to her.
Yes, ma'am.
As a gift.
Yes, ma'am.
When you gave Crystal the car, her mother invested money to have the car fixed. Then, according to Ms. Taylor, you took the car back.
Yes, ma'am.
And she wants the money that she invested in the car because you took the car back. So now I have to figure this out. Which one of you two ladies is Crystal?
Me.
Crystal, stand up next to your mom. When did you give Crystal the...
Late July.
What kind of car was it?
A Ford Contour.
What year?
98.
How many miles did it have on it?
Approximately 200,000.
Okay, so it didn't have much value to it.
No.
And why did you give her the car?
The whole purpose, I paid the car off, and I said that when I get a new one, my whole point of not trading the car in was to give it away to somebody who was in need when I found
Fine, so you
that
gave it
person.
to Crystal?
Yes.
And how did you know her?
We worked together.
Why did you take it back?
We were waiting for a title to the car because I had a lien. I had trouble getting the title because of the lien. Miss Taylor contacted me right before I got the title, and she told me that she was suing me. She did not want the title at that point. She wanted the money that she says that she put into it. So I told her that I wanted receipts and I wanted to verify with my mechanic.
You have the car?
Yes.
You just give it back to Crystal.
That's not true.
Just a second. Listen to me. Perhaps Miss White didn't understand, so I have to explain the law to you. When you give a gift, you cannot give a gift with tentacles. You don't have the right to say, well, I'm giving it to you because I want to give it to somebody who's needy. But then if you do something with it that I don't like, I'm going to take it back.
Well, it's the whole idea that I was being sued. If I'm being sued for $2,000, prove it. She didn't want it. She didn't want the car. She didn't want the title. I told her I have the title.
Oh, fine. Well, just give her the... Just listen to me. Just give her the title.
I would. At the door, at her door.
Wait a second.
I went to
me.
the door and told her I had it.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it
is.
is.
Just a second. Listen to me very carefully. You're not entitled to any money. You're entitled to the car. Period. End of discussion. Do you understand? My question is now, do you want, Miss Taylor, this is your lawsuit. Do you want the car?
No.
then your case is dismissed.
Why is that, Judge?
Because you are not entitled to the money. You fixed up the car. You're entitled to the car that she gave you. It was a gift. It was an unconditional gift. She gave it out of her heart because she wanted to give it to somebody who needed a car. You took it upon yourself to fix the car. You fixed it. You invested money in it.
But the car wasn't free. The title wasn't free. She just
It is now free. Is
She
that
just
right?
got it free and clear. She didn't have it in August.
Now she has the title free and clear. Do you want the car or nothing? Do you want the car or nothing?
The car, I mean, I put money into the car. I mean...
Do you want the car or nothing?
Car.
Good. Take out the title. You'll take care of signing it over to Miss Taylor. Fine?
That's fine.
Good. Bird, have him sign over the title, please.
Okie dokie.
Perfect. Is the car at your home, Miss White?
Yes.
Okay. When do you want Miss Taylor to pick it up, or Crystal?
Anytime.
Fine. You're a doll, Miss White. You're a nice person.
Thank
It was a
you.
nice gesture.
Thank you.
This case stands for the proposition that no good deed goes unpunished. That's all. Thank you.
We've heard that
That's
all
all.
week.
Damian Cecere says he helped friend Amy Brown with a loan to get started in a vitamin selling business. Damian claims Amy has yet to pay him back.
Pronounce your last name for me.
Cecere.
Mr. Cecere, I want you to understand that I have some familiarity with the kind of business that you're in. Do you want to explain it to Bert, or would you like me to do it?
The nature of the business?
Yes.
Essentially, I have my friend Ronald here who has been in the business for 12 years, and he...
Ronald doesn't have to explain it.
Okay.
I'm going to, in very simplistic terms, explain it to Bird. You tell me if I'm wrong.
All right.
Simple. You have this vitamin bottle, because that's what they sell, vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
And Ronald, that's this guy over here, he's been in the business 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
He sometimes sells these vitamins. But what he does mostly is get other people under him who sell vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
And depending upon at what level they buy in, they could buy in with $500 or $1,000 or $2,000, they get product. He brings him in. Mr. Sincere over here buys $5,000 worth of product. He gets a piece of that.
Sure.
So it's like slavery, you know. What you do is he brings in, what's your first name?
Damien.
He brings in a lot of Damiens. Damien 1, Damien 2, Damien 3, Damien 4. And whatever Damien orders from the business, not sells, but orders from the business, Ronald gets a piece of.
Multi-level marketing.
Correct. Now, so then it inures to Damien 1 through 5. They say, listen, we want to be Ronald too.
Of course.
So we're going to see if we can get, what's your name?
Amy.
A whole bunch of Amy's under us to buy as much product as he can, because they get a piece of whatever Amy buys.
Of course. And
And
him
they
too.
also, and so does Ronald.
That's right.
Because Ronald gets a smaller piece of Amy, but he still gets a piece of Amy. And then, what's your name?
Damien.
What's your name?
Cody.
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 I want to get a whole bunch of Codys because that's the way I'm going to make my money. And he's going to get a little piece of Cody, and he's going to get a smaller piece of Cody, but everybody's going to get a piece of Cody. That's the way the game works.
Oh, yeah.
Got it?
That's right.
Pretty much. Now, you also reach certain levels in this business, because if you're a master, or if you're a guru, or if you're a titan, or if you're an Ogatunji, whatever it is, what happens is they give you perks.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get perks in your business, like a car?
If you get high enough, you do.
Ah!
Yeah.
You
I'm not
think,
there
you think
yet.
this is a scheme that I haven't been through a couple of times in my life?
No, I didn't say that.
All right, I got it. So if you get up really high, if you get to be a Grandmaster Ungatunji, they give you a BMW.
Of course.
Or they give you a Mercedes. So there are advantages for Ronald to get a whole bunch of Damiens, and for Damiens to get a whole bunch of Amy's, and for Amy's to get a whole bunch of Cody's, because in addition to getting the money, you also get the perks. That's the drill. Now, Damien over here got Amy involved in the business, and she bought inventory. How much worth, sir?
It was worth $5,000.
What are you asking him for? The questions are going to get harder.
Oh my. I think it was worth about $5,000, and he actually put up $3,300.
Okay, but you put up the money for her
Yes, I did.
on your credit card
Yes, I did.
because you were hoping that she was going to do well in the business, and she wasn't such a good salesperson. And she couldn't find a Cody if she killed herself. She couldn't find a Cody. So you ended up getting stiffed for your money.
Correct.
And she sent back some of her product,
Right, some of it.
but you want, because you're stuck with the bill now, because you're not a Grandmaster Ogatunji yet.
Right.
There isn't any such thing as a
There may be, I'm
Grandmaster
not that high
Ogatunji,
up,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I sort of made that up because it sounded funny. So you want her to pay you the money. Miss Brown says you gave her all kinds of sales pitch. You told her she was going to make a fortune, that there were Codys floating around under every rock, that she was going to be able to sell these vitamins, that they were the greatest thing since sliced bread. And she couldn't do it because she was no salesperson. And since you didn't help her, she sent back the product that she hadn't used. If you have the bill, that's your problem. Okay, we have certain things that we understand. We understand that he bought in for $3,300 and put it on his credit card. That is an agreed state of fact. It is also agreed that you agreed to pay him back that money for starting you in this business. This was going to be your business. You were going to be a grand female Ugatunja. Didn't work out. Wasn't your thing. So what did you do?
I asked for his help several times.
How did you do that?
Either phone conversations or via email.
And what did he say to you?
Usually it was, yeah, we need to get together and talk about this, which never happened. And after so many attempts, I just sent all the product back.
And what did he say?
He was fine with it as far as I knew. I told him I was going to do it, and he said he understood.
So, when did he decide to sue you?
I just was served about 2 weeks ago.
When was this that you sent back the product?
I believe it was May or June of 2006.
So why did you wait to sue her, sir? Is not an answer.
Okay. I wanted to work with Amy to give her an opportunity to pay back the remaining balance.
Well, had you asked her for it?
Of course.
How many times did you ask her for the balance?
Numerous. Both on the phone, and then when she started not returning my phone calls, our relationship was degraded. And I have in emails that she said she would indeed pay back the remaining balance.
Can I see it, please?
May I say something else, Your Honor?
Yes.
I absolutely did make every attempt to not only talk to Amy on the phone, but to get together with her, to involve her in opportunity meetings. Ronald also met her in Anaheim for a meeting. I feel like we put forth a very fair and aggressive effort to assist her with this.
It is clear to me that over the course of several months, you agreed to pay him.
And I agreed to make payments.
So why didn't you?
Because at the time I had lost my job, I was laid off, and I just bought my condo. And
you just bought your condo?
I just bought a condo, and then I was laid off, and then I was trying to get caught up with my other bills, which were a priority.
Well, then you acknowledged this debt to him.
A portion of it.
Well, which portion of it, madam?
I agreed to, okay, he had agreed to help me with.
Listen, we're beyond that. We had agreed to help you. Now I have emails where you clearly acknowledge the debt, which belies what you told me, that he breached his contract to help you, which is why you don't have to pay him. So now we know that you agreed to pay him. So I'm asking you why. Is it because you bought a condo?
No, the condo was prior to even meeting him.
Well, so what does that have to do with paying him back?
Well,
for your
no,
business?
I had been laid off, and that's when I met him, and he convinced me to do this so that I could make money. Then
it didn't work out, and you returned the product, and you still said, I'm going to pay you. So what stopped you?
Well, I didn't agree with the amounts that he was saying I owed him.
Well, how much do you say you owe him? That's where I started 5 minutes ago.
Okay, I believe I owe him maybe $1,000 just based on the portions of it that I was able to sell.
Well, how much did you sell?
Maybe a couple $100 worth to just...
Where are your records?
There's no record. I mean, you sell the container to people for cash.
What do you mean, you sell it for cash and then you don't report it to anybody? Not even the government? How do you expect to pay your taxes?
I don't know. This is something he was supposed to help me with.
He's
My
not supposed
business.
to help you with that. This is your business.
Well, this is what he promised to help me with. I have the emails where he stated he promised to help me as
How
well.
much product? $3,300. How much product did she send back?
She returned $699.30, which was credited to my credit card, and she gave me a personal check for $300.
And you cashed it.
Of course.
Good.
Also, Your Honor, originally I gave Amy a can, 2 cans of product, which I said you can pay me back for. Just give me the same cans once you get your order, and she never did, so I had added that in
You're
as
going
well.
to have to live with that, sir. Damien.
Okay.
So she returned $700 worth of product, bringing it down to $2,600, and she gave you $300, leaving a grand total of $2,300. And
they actually prorated that, that they don't refund you the full amount. So they only give you, I think, 80 to 90% back.
And
that's what was credited to his credit card.
Well, that's all right. He has to be made whole. You're a big girl. How old are you?
36.
What?
36.
36. 36 years old. You make a decision. It doesn't work out. You have to take care of the consequences. These are slick guys. This is the way they make a living. They find people who are young, looking to start a new life, start a new business, not worked out in other fields, and they say, listen, you can make a lot of money. And some people make a lot of money. Ronald makes a good living, right? Damien, I don't know. Do you make a good living?
I'm working on it.
Well, how much did you earn last year?
With Just For You Live?
Yes.
I'd have to look at my tax return.
Let's try to give me a round ballpark figure, Damien.
I'm going to say probably around $8,000.
8.
Mm-hmm.
You make a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
You've been there 12 years.
Yeah.
How long have you been in, Damien?
About 3 years.
Oh, when you're there 12 years, you're going to have that Mercedes you want.
I hope so.
What kind of car do you drive, Ronald?
I drove a BMW.
Now.
Can I say something?
Sure.
The business has a 1-year money-back guarantee. So at any point, she could have returned the product and got 90% of her money back. The business isn't designed for people to fail. If they don't want to do it, if they get a new job, that's okay. So if there was ever a discrepancy, she could have returned all the product and Damien would have got reimbursed. So.
But she didn't.
Right.
She's got to pay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sure.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,300. Thank you. That's all.
Charnita Christopher is suing her former friend and child care provider, Vashni Dixon, for her share of money paid to Vashni by the state. Vashni is countersuing for unpaid child care fees.
Miss Christopher, Miss Dixon was a friend of yours.
Yes,
and it is
ma'am.
your claim that at some point she needed some assistance, you needed some assistance with child care, and the state was paying for your child care costs.
Yes,
You engaged Miss Dixon to watch your children with the following arrangement, that she would share those child care responsibilities with your aunt, and then they would split the check. It is your claim that when Miss Dixon got the check, she kept the whole check for herself, and you want half the check so that you can give it to your aunt.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Dixon says that there was no aunt, that she watched the children, but that you wanted her to split the county check. You would keep half, and she would keep half. And she felt that that was very unfair since she had the responsibility of watching the children. She has a counterclaim, and her counterclaim is nonsense. Her counterclaim wants you to pay the difference between what the county paid for child care and what she thinks she deserves for child care, the overage, because that's what it says in the contract from the state. Well, that's not the contract you had with her, Miss Dixon.
When she told me, we made the agreement.
Miss Dixon, that wasn't your agreement that she was going to pay you extra.
She was supposed to pay me $4 an hour. The state was supposed to pay that to me that they wouldn't pay all of that. It's her responsibility to pay.
It's not her responsibility.
How is it not her responsibility?
Because I say so. Because that wasn't your contract with her. Now, how many children do you have?
3.
How long have you been receiving child care money from the state for the 3 children?
Approximately a year.
Starting when?
It started again March 27th of 06.
And where were you working in March?
I wasn't working. It was for me to be able to look for employment at that time.
Well, did you find employment?
I found employment July 3rd. I was hired at Glamour Shots.
So you're telling me from March 27th until July 3rd, the state was paying you to look for a job?
Yes.
To watch your
ma'am.
children?
Yes, ma'am.
When did she start to babysit for you?
August 7th, 2006.
And where were you working at that time?
I wasn't working.
Well, what happened to the job that you started in July?
Oh, August, Glamour Shots. I'm sorry, Glamour Shots.
Are you still working there?
No, ma'am.
When did you stop working there? It's very easy to find out by calling them. When
August
did you
15th.
stop?
August 15th. I have my check stubs.
All right, so you worked there for a month.
Yes, ma'am.
And why did you leave there?
Because they weren't giving me enough hours.
Well, so you left that job because they weren't giving you enough hours, and you went to the situation where you weren't working at all.
Yes, ma'am. There was a lot of other issues with that job.
So the county wasn't really getting a great bang for their buck by paying for your 3 children for daycare while you're looking for a job, and you had a job for a total of 1 month when you quit because they weren't giving you enough hours. Something doesn't sound right there, Miss Christopher. So she started working August 7th, and now a week later you're not working. So what are you doing when she's watching your children?
Out looking for work.
What does that mean?
I have to go to the workforce center, and they work with me to help me look for work.
Well, how many days a week do you go to the center?
It could be 4, sometimes 5.
Could it be 3?
It depends on what my job counselor...
When did you go to work?
Where did I go to work?
When? First is when?
I haven't. I'm looking for work right now. My children are not in child care right now at all.
So she started to work on August 7th. And when did you stop working?
I left her house on September 4th, I believe.
So you were there for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
How many hours a day did you watch the children, or did you live in her house?
She'd leave around maybe 10 o'clock in the morning, and she wouldn't get back till like 8 o'clock at night.
What about this aunt? Do you know anything about an aunt?
I never heard anything about her aunt watching her kids before this.
Where's the aunt?
She's at home.
She's not here?
No.
Well, how do you expect to prove to me that somebody else babysat for your children?
I have the proof.
Show me. What kind of proof are you showing me?
Oh, it's the hours that my aunt kept the children. She typed this up. She has a license.
I don't accept that, Miss Christopher. That's hearsay.
Okay. Well, that's what I have.
Well, your case is dismissed. My dear, she got a check for watching your children. You have no proof that somebody else watched your children. Ridiculous. Case is dismissed, that's all.
Bail bondsman Aaron McAllister says former client Elena Zadevich owes for unpaid bail money.
What were you arrested for, Miss Zadevich?
I was arrested on false charges of domestic violence that my ex filed against me.
I didn't ask you whether they were true or not true. I asked, what were you arrested for?
I was arrested on allegations of domestic violence.
Was it the first time you were arrested?
Yes.
Look at me. Was
Yes.
it the first time you were arrested? The answer is either yes or no.
No.
Better. When was the first time you were arrested?
Several years ago.
Having nothing to do with domestic violence.
Has something to do with domestic violence.
So you have 2 arrests for domestic violence?
That's correct.
Was it the same complainant in each case?
Different.
Different. Okay. You are a bail bondsman?
Yes, Your Honor.
It is your claim that you received a call from the defendant in jail. You responded. You bailed her out of jail. At her request, she promised to pay for the bond. She did not. You want your money.
Yes.
Defendant says you're a sleazy bail bondsman and she's not paying you.
Correct.
When did you receive the call?
Sometime in the middle of the night from the county jail.
What night? I'm not Karnak. What night would
I'm
you
sorry.
like to tell me it is?
July the 15th.
In the middle of the night. You were home?
Correct. In bed.
How did you get his number?
It was posted on the wall in the county jail.
You have your home number posted in the wall in county jail?
No, ma'am. It's an office number that forwards to my cell phone in the evening and weekends.
I see. I wouldn't think that you'd want your house phone
No.
to have a number. Okay. What did the defendant say to you when she called?
That she was in jail and she had to get out. She had to get to work the next morning. If she didn't get out, she would lose her job.
What kind of job do you have?
I'm an executive assistant.
For whom?
For a small media startup.
How long have you had that job?
Close to a year.
10 months?
Something like that.
Where did you work before?
I was managing a medical spa.
Where?
Walnut Creek, California.
Okay. Have any family here?
Just my 2 children.
How old are they?
6 and 2.
They live with you?
Part-time.
Who do they live with the other part of the time?
Well, my son lives with, my daughter part-time lives with her paternal family.
Maternal or paternal?
Paternal.
Paternal. So the father's family, father's parents with her grandparents?
No, his brother and his family, they live very close by, about 10-minute drive from where I live, and she's there a lot because I work full-time.
Okay. So you had to get to work at the media startup company when you called him?
Correct.
Did you tell him that you were going to take care of paying his bail?
What happened was I told him that I didn't have any money.
No. When you called him on the phone from jail, you told him I don't have any money?
Correct.
Is that right?
No.
Of course not.
Right. I wouldn't.
Of course not, because if you tell you, please bail me out of jail, but I don't have any money, and he doesn't know you from a hole in the wall, he's not getting out of his warm bed in the middle of the night. Madam.
Well, he did.
No. He did. The question was, did you tell him that you didn't have any money?
Yes, I did.
He says you didn't, and I'm saying I believe him that at that time you didn't tell him I have no money. Because if he's in business and he gets a call from a stranger, you are a stranger, right?
Correct.
That I want you to get up out of bed, drive over to the jail and bail me out. But by the way, I have no money. He'd say, call somebody else.
That's exactly what I said.
All right. I don't believe you. Go ahead.
We discussed that she had a CD, and the CD was maturing within the next 30 days, and that there would be ample
That you would have money.
Correct. In the CD to pay me out of the proceeds of the CD. And she didn't want to cash it in early because she didn't want to pay the penalty. I agreed to those terms within 30 days that she would use the CD.
Was this on the telephone?
That was on the telephone.
Okay. Because you did ask her the question about money.
Correct.
And when you said, do you have money, what did she say?
I have a CD.
Okay. So, did you tell her how much the bail would be?
Correct. 10%, $5,000.
Because she had $50,000 bail?
Correct.
That's a high bail for domestic violence.
It is.
Do you know why it was so high?
That's per the schedule in that county. That's always $50,000 for a felony charge.
It was a felony.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So we get her out. We memorialize our agreement in writing. She
Can I
signs
see it,
a
please?
bail contract and the agreement to pay.
Can I see it, please? Okay, so you signed an agreement to pay him the $5,000.
I had no choice. He made me sign it.
But
Madam,
listen to me very carefully, madam. You have a choice. Your choice is to stay in jail until the matter on which you were arrested for is tried. That's your choice. You chose...
had a different agreement.
No. This is your agreement. This in here is your agreement, in the four corners of this agreement. And what I asked you was, did you sign this agreement? And the answer is either yes or no, not
Yes,
I was forced to sign.
I did sign that agreement, but aside from that, there was an oral agreement that took place between me and Mr. McAllister.
I'll get to you in a minute.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Once the agreement's signed, I get her out of jail. She says, now what do? I live 30 minutes from here. I agreed to give her a ride. She's worried about getting to work, so I give her a ride. And it's about 30 minutes away. So during that time, she tells me the entire story about the arrest, and I attempt to be understanding that, you know, she was arrested, and I'm sorry, and that's a bad thing, and you're dealing with a breakup, and, you know, how she caught her boyfriend with his new girlfriend laying on the couch that she paid for or she picked out. And the entire time in the car,
Would you look at me when you're telling me this story, Mr. McAllister? Look at me. Don't look down there.
Sorry. The entire time in the car, she says, I'm not a stalker, I'm not a stalker. I go, okay, sorry, you're not a stalker. No problem. Okay, I'll get you to your vehicle. Well, the vehicle's parked 3 blocks away from the house where she was living or where she was arrested. So there's obviously something going on there. Anyway, I get her out, she signs the agreement, and she refuses to pay me.
Just a second. When did she sign the agreement?
Immediately upon release from the county jail.
Okay. And then you drove her to her car.
Correct.
And you dropped her, and she never paid you.
Right. I made
When,
repeated
for the first time, did you contact her with regard to payment?
Well, within 10 days, we sent her an invoice, just a reminder of the payment terms, and sent her 4 or 5 subsequent invoices that went answered with these rambling letters talking about...
Do you have a copy of the letters?
I do.
Can I see them, please?
Those are her letters to me and then my responses.
Based upon our discussion, these are your words, when he initially asked you for your money. Based upon our discussion, it was my understanding that we would discuss my opportunity to provide some type of service to you and your business in lieu of paying you $5,000 for a relatively risk-free, as you put it, bond. I am still awaiting the opportunity to make good on my offer to work for your company. As you were advised at the time the bond was posted, I have not, or do not have now, $5,000 fee that you are demanding. Given the above-mentioned discussions that we had at the time of the unsecured bond was posted, I now consider your correspondence demanding $5,000 to be intimidating and threatening. What are you, crazy? Please do not send me any more threatening letters. You knew my financial predicament at the time bail was posted. I still intend to honor my promise to perform professional services for you. You never promised to perform professional services for him. Your own letter says, it was my understanding that we would discuss my opportunity to provide some type of service to you or your business in lieu of paying for the bond. Given the above-mentioned discussions that we had at the time, I now consider your discussions aren't a contract, madam.
Let me tell you what happened.
Yeah,
Because
go
he's
ahead.
not telling you the whole truth.
Go
what
ahead.
happened, he bails me out.
Are
he
you,
knows I
just a
don't-
second, are you telling me the whole truth? Listen, are you telling me the whole truth?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
About your children's living arrangements, you're telling me the whole truth?
We're not talking about my children right now. I want to tell you.
You mean you're telling the truth?
about what
Listen to
happened.
me. You're telling the truth sometimes, and sometimes you can lie. And when am I supposed to tell the difference? You see, I knew that you were lying to me about your children's living situation. That you're not willing to discuss.
What did I
Listen to
lie
me.
about?
Listen to me. My question to you is, how am I supposed to tell when you're lying, and how am I supposed to tell when you're telling the truth?
I do tell the truth.
But you just lied to me today.
About what?
You lied about your children's living situation.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
How did I?
Oh, yes, you did. And you know you did. You know that they live with me part-time, they live with some part-time, they live here because I work. It's not the story. But that's a story you chose to tell me. Now, you told me that with the same veracity as you told me that you had another contract with him. And my question to you is, how am I supposed to tell when you're telling the truth and when you're lying?
What I'm saying is the truth.
Now I'm going to hear you, and then I'll tell you what the law is.
Okay. Well, he bails me out. He drives me to my vehicle. On the way to my vehicle, he makes comments about, and he says, well, it would be nice if a pretty woman like you worked for my company doing some sort of marketing and promoting my company, and maybe we can work something out in terms of paying for the bail bond that he posted on my behalf. So when he dropped me off by my vehicle, and before he left, he made me sign the agreement that you saw after we had the conversation of me potentially working for his company.
Did you get what you said to me, madam? You just said to me, maybe you could work for my company. Maybe you could work for my company.
And
that's
he
not
asked
an
me-
agreement.
No,
That's
and after
not.
that-
No. After that, nothing. You took that, and I believe that you said that to her. Well, maybe you could work for my company and do something. Maybe you said it to her. Who cares? It's not relevant. There was no
I
contract.
said I couldn't work for him full time as he proposed. So he
No,
said,
madam.
we can work something out, and you can work for me on weekends.
Oh, listen to me. Listen to me. You're making it up as you're going along.
No.
Yes.
No, I
you
have
are,
a
because
letter.
according to what you said to me, after you had that discussion, after, not before. You see, he said you signed this at the jail.
No.
You say I signed it after I had the discussion with him about working with him part-time, weekends, etc. If that was true, that's not contained in this agreement.
No.
And I believe, madam, that you are one smart cookie. And if he had this conversation with you where you made a contract with him, a contract that's enforceable, to work off the bail bond by working for him part-time, you would have put it in this agreement because you're already out of jail. You see, you're already out. Because you're already bailed out. So then you could either say to him, I'm not signing this. Or you say, it's not the entire agreement that we have. But you didn't. You signed it and said, I promise to pay you $5,000.
Well, he told me right there that if you don't sign it, I'm just going to put you right back to jail. That's what he told me.
I don't believe you. You're making it up as you're going along.
No.
You're making it up as you're going along because if he said to you, you signed this or I'm going to take you back to jail.
That's what he said?
Your response would have been, well, then put in our agreement that I could work it off, right? Right?
I was very stressed.
Oh,
and I
listen,
didn't
it's
see
not the
what I
first
was
time you were arrested.
signing.
That's why I asked you the question before.
And
It's not the first time. It's probably not the second time that you were arrested. So pay him his money. You owe him his money. Don't be a con artist. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's all.
25-year-old Aaron London is suing his former co-worker, Corey Bell, for defaming his character. Aaron claims Corey passed around a phony Craigslist ad.
Mr. London, did you and the defendant work in the same company?
Yes, at one point we did.
This is your complaint. You put an ad in Craigslist. I gather you went to school to become a massage therapist?
Yes.
And you put an ad on Craigslist for massages with your picture on it. Does it have your picture?
Yes.
Mr. Bell saw that ad on Craigslist. Is that right, sir?
I did.
And he thought it was really funny that you had posted that ad on Craigslist. So far, am I right?
Yes.
So he circulated it around the office. He sent it to a lot of other people. He thought it was funny, like, you know, like people send jokes on the computer, and he sent it to a whole lot of other people. So you're suing him for defamation because you were very embarrassed.
Yes.
That's what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. London, can I see the ad, please?
Yeah.
Okay. So this says, hello, ladies. Imagine casting your eyes upon this gorgeous whatever. It's got pictures of you, right? And it says, massage for big, beautiful women. Reply to personals. It looks like a number at Craigslist.org. And when people reply to this personal, they get you. Is that right?
Well, they get transferred to an email, yeah.
But it's you.
No, not in this particular case. There's a little bit more to the story that hasn't been revealed yet.
Sir, all I want to know
Yes.
is, it comes back to you.
Yes.
Now, is this the same ad that you sent to other people?
Yes.
You didn't modify it in any way?
No, didn't modify
You didn't
it.
change it? You didn't add words?
No,
You didn't...
no, I didn't. I just sent the link.
You sent the link and you said, take a look at this.
That's it.
That's not a crime, Mr. London. That's not a crime. That's not a lawsuit.
Yeah, there's a little bit more to it.
Well,
though.
give me 30 seconds, sir. That's what happened. You put this
Well-
ad that you didn't want to be circulated among your
No.
office mates. He circulated it among your office mates. If you didn't want it out there, you shouldn't have printed it.
Well, no, that actually isn't what happened. What happened is I work for the bank, and I also have a personal training and massage therapy business, like you said. And another kind of job side hustle that I do is I write personal ads for Craigslist. Also ads for businesses, whoever needs advertising.
Very nice.
who
I'm
lacks-
not an advertisement for you, sir. So you have a lot of businesses. You
And-
put this on Craigslist.
Yes, technically speaking.
That's what
But
we're here for.
that ad wasn't for me.
Who cares
I
who it
wrote
was
the ad
for?
for somebody else.
Who cares who it was for? Who cares? He doesn't know that. All he knows is this is the ad that he saw on Craigslist. He had every right to send it to whoever he wanted to send it to.
To my work, but well, he doesn't work in the workplace anymore.
I don't care. He could have sent it to the King of Siam. He could have sent it to me. He could have sent it to the President of the United States. He could have sent it to the Vice President of the United States or the Secretary of the Interior. It doesn't make any difference. It's out there in cyberspace, put on the internet by you, Mr. London. He could send it to whoever he wants. It's open. That's what it is. It's like sending an open letter.
To send it to my job for what? For
Who
laughs?
cares? If you don't want to be embarrassed, you don't put embarrassing things on the internet, Mr. London. If you don't want to be embarrassed, keep your private thoughts to yourself.
But the ad is not mine, is what I'm trying to tell you. Can I actually tell you?
Listen, Mr. London, I understand the nonsense what you wrote in your complaint. You said you were doing an ad for somebody else, and this was just a sample of what the ad would look like. But Mr. Bell doesn't know that because you posted this on Craigslist.
But how does he know I posted it?
It doesn't make any difference whether he knows you posted it or not, sir. It's here. It's out there in the world. Just like he sees it, anybody else can see it. He can send it to whomever he wants to send it. The truth of the matter is, you did post it on Craigslist. Did somebody tie you down and take these pictures?
No, those are sample pictures.
Those are pictures that
The
you...
pictures don't even match the ad, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh,
it's
yes,
not
they
even...
do. Oh, yeah, listen, Mr. London, you can tell me whatever you want to tell me, sir. This may have aggravated you. It may have upset you. It's a very good lesson. If you want to think privately, you go, I want to take it all in, and this is what I want to do. I want to keep these thoughts to myself. If you want to give massages to big, beautiful women, and that's what you're thinking about, and I'm going to see it, but I'm not going to write it in a letter to my mother or my sister or my boyfriend or my girlfriend. I'm going to keep it to myself. Once you type it in the machine and you write send, it's over. It's out there. It's in Mexico and Burma and Jersey and Brooklyn. It's all over the place. And you can't complain about it if somebody says, this is really funny. I want to send it to everybody that I know who knows this jerk who posted this on Craigslist. So, Mr. London, grow up. You want to keep things to yourself? You want to talk into your pillow. Don't talk into your computer. Case is dismissed.
Elizabeth Whitaker claims former friend Danielle Kahneman stole $800 from her duffel bag. Danielle says Elizabeth spent the $800 on drugs.
Miss Whitaker, the defendant was your best friend, and it is your claim that she stole $800 out of a duffel bag. In that duffel bag was also some sort of hair straightening device. So you're suing her for the value of that. First of all, why was there cash in a duffel bag?
Because we were out all day long, so I left the cash in the duffel bag so that I didn't lose it, because $800 is a lot to have carrying around.
What was $800 doing in your duffel bag?
I had used it to get my car fixed. My boyfriend had lent it to me so I could fix my car.
When did your boyfriend give you $800 to fix your car?
He's over in Iraq right now, so he had sent me his ATM card with his PIN number, so he had let me withdraw the money from the ATM.
Why didn't you leave the money home?
Because I hadn't been home in the time that I had withdrew the money.
Oh, you said, I withdrew the money on approximately 5 separate occasions.
Yes, ma'am.
So what I'm asking you is, why didn't you leave the money home? The answer is not that you weren't home. You were home in between those 5 different days that you deposited the money.
No, ma'am, I was not. I was with Danielle the entire time. I had not been home once.
Over how many days did you withdraw the money?
2, the 13th and the 14th of March.
So you were keeping it in the duffel bag to fix your car?
Yes, ma'am. The duffel bag was at Danielle's house the entire time.
Why are you looking so ridiculously funny?
I'm not. I just think it's funny because it's not. None of it's true. I'm just. I just know that none of it's true, so I'm just listening to what she's saying.
Who else lives in Danielle's house?
At the time, only her sister's boyfriend.
What's your sister's boyfriend's name?
Zach.
Why was he staying with you?
It's my sister and her boyfriend's house. She moved in when they started dating. Now they're engaged. So
you were staying with them?
Yes, I was living with my sister in Spring Hill.
They weren't living with her. She moved in with her sister and her sister's boyfriend.
Correct.
On what date did you find the duffel bag missing?
The 15th, we'd had a fight. My duffel bag was still at her house. She had spent the night at my house the previous night. We had a fight, so I made her leave, and like 20 minutes after I realized, so I called her and she told me that I wasn't getting it back.
Okay, you made her leave. What did you say to her?
We just got into a fight. We were screaming at each other, and she just left, and I told her, just get out.
What did you say when you called her 20 minutes later?
I just told her that because I had clothes and my hair straightener and everything, I just told her that I needed it all back, and she told me
No, just a second. Did you say anything about cash?
No, ma'am.
You just said my duffel bag is there and I have stuff in it?
Yes.
What did you say? Tell me what
just
you
that
said.
my duffel bag was still there and I needed it back.
And what did she say?
She told me that I wasn't going to get it back.
Why did you say that to her?
I did not say that to her.
Yes,
at
you
all.
did. There's no
I
question
didn't.
in my mind you said that to
No,
her.
ma'am,
Can I
there's
say
no question
something?
in my
Not
mind
yet.
that I didn't say it. There was no phone calls. There was about 6 text messages first on the phone, and then it was followed by her calling me and threatening me.
Okay, well,
so
what did the text?
I didn't call her at all.
I didn't say you called her.
Okay.
I didn't say you called her.
No, I know.
You're not paying attention.
I just said
You're
she
not
called
paying
me. I was just letting you know she was the one that called me.
That's what she said.
Okay. I was just confirming the fact that she was right, that she did call me. Oh, my God.
Something wrong with your affect. Pay attention.
No.
Put on your listening ears. What did you say when she called you and told you about the duffel bag?
She didn't say anything about the duffel bag.
What did she call you for?
She told, when we were previously at her house, she mentioned something.
No. When you had a fight and
Okay.
you left.
Yeah.
Listen to me very
Uh-huh.
carefully. When you had a fight and you left, she called you. That you just told me happened. What did she say when she called you?
She come back to the house that she was going to stab me. It had nothing to do about the duffel bag.
She said, come back to the house because I'm going to stab you?
Yeah. And I called, and then after her phone call, I called up her mother and let her know that she called me and said that. This is my best friend since I was about 5 years old. I went to his house. I was crying, upset. It's about 25 minutes back to my sister's house. I didn't want to drive back there upset. I knew, you just don't want to drive when you're upset. So I stopped at his house, and that was about the time she did like 6 text messages. And about 5 minutes after I got to his house, he was actually sitting there when she made that phone call. And then I called her mother, and I actually called the police. And I told them that I didn't have time to do a full report because I had to get back up to my sister's house to have her car back so she could get to work. But I told them that I was scared and that I just wanted to call in and at least let them know and give them the names. And they said, okay.
Where's her duffel bag?
Her duffel bag was still at my house. But it takes about 25 minutes there and back. So I didn't want to go all the way back up there and then come back. Told her
I
she
just
could come.
asked you a question. Where
Yeah.
was the duffel bag?
It was still at my house.
And what happened when you got to your house?
Got to my house. My sister used her car, and I stayed there.
What did you do with the duffel bag?
It stayed there. I didn't touch the duffel bag.
How did your sister get hold of her hair straightener?
Because I lived there. About 2 days later, I moved out, and I left it there by accident. And my sister hadn't brought it back yet.
Okay.
But I don't.
How did your sister get her hair straightener? Because I read your answer.
Because
what?
I lived with her.
Well, what was she doing going into the duffel bag? Was she a thief?
Her and she let me use the straightener before we left to go to her.
The duffel bag was, the hair straightener was in the duffel bag.
No, it wasn't. It was in my bathroom plugged in because right before we left to go hang out with a few of our friends, go back towards her house, we did our hair, so it was left in my bathroom plugged in.
Is
and we
that
turned
correct?
it off.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So now where's the duffel bag?
On my rack in my bedroom because I didn't have a closet. I had a rack with my clothes on it, so it was on the bottom rack.
So who stole her money?
There was no money in it.
Oh, yeah, she's going to show me proof that she took money out.
Oh, I bet she did take money out, but there was no cash in the duffel bag.
How do you know that?
One, because...
How do you know that? Madam, I asked you a simple question. You're giving me all kinds of mumbo-jumbo. How did you know there was no cash in the duffel bag?
Because my friend Sam called me up and said that Beth was calling her up to ask her for cocaine. I was worried about it, and that's when I called her boyfriend. But she was my best friend. If there was cash in her duffel bag, don't you think she would have said something to me when she asked me to bring back the duffel bag?
Not if you had just had a fight.
Okay, well, 3 weeks after, when she actually came and picked it up, she never said one word to my mom or anything about the cash either. I have not heard one thing about cash.
Well,
ever.
when was the first time did you hear about cash?
When I got served, when I found out about this.
When was the first time, Miss Whitaker, that you advised anybody that there was cash in that duffel bag?
I had told my mother, and the night that she had called my mother had questioned her about the money in the bag.
Could you stand up, please? Mrs. Whitaker?
Yes.
You spoke to the defendant?
Yes.
When?
The night they had the fight.
Tell me about the conversation.
She called me, actually, to get a number out of Beth's phone that she wanted.
What did she say to you? Tell me what she said.
That's exactly what she said. Can you get a number out of the phone for me?
Whose number was it?
I don't know. I didn't ask her.
Go ahead.
And I said to her, Danielle, what happened to the money? And she launches into this big thing that she didn't even know Beth had any money, and if Beth never told her there was any money. And I said, Danielle, she's been with you for the last 3 or 4 days. You're the only one she's been with. I didn't take her to the bank, so you must have.
What did she say?
She said, well, the only thing I can think of is that I stopped at the grocery store and Beth wanted to wait in the car, and that's when she must have done it. And I said, Danielle, that doesn't make any kind of sense. And she says, well, you know, Beth hasn't been making any sense lately. She's been acting really crazy, and that's what people on drugs do. And she goes on to tell me that we can get her help and that we can get her into rehab. And I said, Danielle, what happened to the money? And Danielle said to me, well, the drug dealer must have it. And I said, well, you must have taken her to the drug dealer because I know I didn't. And then she said, well, I don't know how she got to the drug dealer. And then she says to me that she contacted Beth's boyfriend, Richard. She said that she and Richard had been friends for a long time and she wasn't going to let this come between her, you know, affect her and Richard's friendship. And she said that she called Richard and set up a 3-way conversation, and Beth didn't know that Richard was on the other line. And she said that she confronted Beth about spending the money on drugs, and she said that she just couldn't believe that Beth had spent $800 of Richard's money on drugs. And I said to her, Danielle, how did you know it was $800? And she said, because Richard told me. And I said, Danielle, Richard's in Iraq. He doesn't have a cell phone. You couldn't have called him. Then she said that her mother was trying to call her and she would call me back, and needless to say, I never heard from her again.
You still have the boyfriend in Iraq?
Yes, ma'am.
You have something you want to say to me?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, when she had called, I was there for the conversation, when they had the argument, she came to my house crying, that she was like, I could hear her over the line, she was screaming very loudly at her, like, you know, threatening her. It's like, you need to come back to the house so I can kick you. You know, I'm going to stab you, You know, she came to my house in a wreck. I mean, I couldn't believe, like, what she could probably have said to her to, like, you know,
I can't believe it either. Now you can sit down. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Did you have that conversation with Mrs. Whitaker?
Some of it, yes.
Sure.
I don't know
is
what
not
I
an
didn't
answer.
say to her, but I know what I did say to her. She didn't ask me about an actual amount of money. What she asked was, she told me she found some ATM.
So you knew about them, just a second. So you knew about the money, the missing money, listen to me. So you knew about the missing money the same day as it was missing.
I knew that she said she found withdrawal receipts, so I didn't know anything about the duffel bag, cash being in the duffel bag. She just told me she found withdrawal receipts and said that Beth spent some money. I had no idea there would be money at my house. There couldn't have been money at my house, because there was no conversation about that until obviously now.
No,
Her mom
there
told
was
me
a
that
conversation about it with her mother the same day that it happened. And usually,
But it had nothing to do-
yes, it had to do with that money.
Not with my house, though. She called me up and said that she found withdrawal receipts, and she wanted to know if I knew anything about it. I told her no, that I never brought her to the bank, and that's all that I knew.
And you didn't discuss with her a three-way conversation?
No, I don't have her boyfriend's cell phone number.
All I'm asking you is, you didn't discuss a three-way conversation with her?
No.
No, I don't believe you.
Okay.
How's that?
Elizabeth Whitaker claims former friend Danielle Kahneman stole $800 from her duffel bag. Danielle says Elizabeth spent the $800 on drugs.
Okay. I'm very, very reluctant on circumstantial type evidence when other people have access to property to make a judgment that somebody took property. I'm reluctant to do that because to label somebody a thief, as far as I'm concerned, is a very serious thing. There is no question in my mind that you either took it or know who took the money out of her duffel bag. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $800. That's all.
Parties are excused. You step out.
Marco Abrigo is suing his children's grandmother, Christina Strickland, for the return of 2 child support payments. Christina is countersuing for the unpaid medical expenses of Marco's children.
Mr. Abrigo, it is your claim that you paid child support to the defendant who was caring for your 2 children for 5 years. And the last 2 payments that you made to her, which were deducted from your salary, I assume, were made when the children had been returned to their mother. And you want those 2 payments back. Ms. Strickland says she took care of your 2 children for 5 years. You owe her a fortune of money, and she's counterclaiming. So I have a few questions for you, sir, before I make very, very short work out of you. When did your children go to live with Ms. Strickland?
2001, I believe.
What do you mean you believe? I would know the exact moment that my children were removed from my custody.
I don't know the exact date that we signed over the children, but it was towards the end. I'm going to say September of 2001.
And you signed custody over to Ms. Strickland because you and their mother were neglecting them. And but for Ms. Strickland, the state would have taken them. Fair statement?
No.
You just decided you had enough being a parent?
No.
What was it?
Well, the way it went down is the mother of the children and Ms. Strickland were talking, and because I was going to be going away.
Going away to where? Summer
I was
camp?
possibly going to be incarcerated, and she would not be able to take care of the children.
Why not?
I do not know.
Were you living together at the time?
No, we were not. We were not
So
together.
what difference did it make whether you were in jail or on Mars? She was still alone taking care of the children. When were you in jail, sir? From when to when?
Basically from January of 2002 to November 2002.
And in that year, the children were with Miss Strickland.
Yes, they were.
And how much support were you sending while you were in jail?
None.
None? Who was supporting your children?
Ms. Strickland.
And when did you make that year up to her?
Well, when I did get out of 2002, I didn't make it up to her financially, but through 2003 to the beginning of 2004, February, I had the kids in the excess of about 200 days.
I'm talking about when you were in prison, sir. You paid nothing for the support of your 2 children.
I paid nothing.
Nothing. I assumed that you got 2 jobs so that you could pay Miss Strickland, who was a total stranger to you. She was the step-grandmother of the children. You got 2 jobs so you could start paying her back all the money she spent on taking care of the children. Didn't you?
No, I did not.
Well, then you've got some nerve being here. For 2 payments? Because they went to her instead of going to the mother of the children?
I'm only going by what the court is telling me to go by.
This court is telling you to go home. After I would have made you bend down and kiss her feet for taking care of your children for 5 years. So I have no idea what you're doing here. What you're doing here is nonsense. Listen, Miss Strickland.
Yes, ma'am.
But for the fact that he sued you for this nonsense, you would not be here. Is that correct?
Probably.
Probably not. Because you didn't expect anything from him?
Never.
And pretty much that's exactly what you got.
Exactly.
May I say something, please?
Absolutely.
My grandchildren have been living with their mom since August of 2006. He has not sent one penny to support those kids up until this point.
Is what she's saying correct? Would you get him out of here? I cannot stand to look at him. Your case is
Parties are
dismissed.
excused.
That's
They
all.
step out.
24-year-old Carl Anderson is suing 21-year-old Taryn Gluck and her father, Alan, for the cost to fix damage to his car. Carl claims Taryn dinged his door while pulling into a parking space.
All rise. It's case number 104 on the calendar in the matter of Anderson versus Gluck.
How old are you?
21.
Sit down. No.
Parties have been sworn in.
Thank you.
Have a seat, sir.
Mr. Anderson, you claim that the defendant damaged your car.
Yes, ma'am.
You want her to pay for the damage. I don't know what her answer is. She sort of says, I didn't do anything wrong, and I let my father take care of it. Okay, Mr. Anderson, why don't you tell me when this happened and tell me what happened?
Okay. It was March 3rd, 2006. It was a Friday, and rent was due. That's my roommate, Sean. So we both drove to the bank to get our halves of the rent to pay the rent. So I drove my car, I parked and went inside. Sean, he drove his car through the drive-thru and got his money. So I went inside, got my half of the rent. I'm walking to my car, and as I approached my driver's side door, Taryn pulled into the parking spot on my passenger side. She pulled in and parked her car. So I know she seen me standing there.
Don't tell me what you know she saw.
Okay.
Just tell me what happened. You're standing outside your car on the driver's side.
Yes, ma'am.
She pulled in on the passenger side. What kind of car was she driving?
A Jeep Cherokee.
What kind of car?
2002 Hyundai Elantra.
So her car is much bigger than yours.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what happened next?
So she pulled in to the parking spot next to mine, and by then I had got in my car, closed my door, and I was counting my half of the rent. So I'm in my car, she opens her car door, and then boom, she hits my passenger side. So when it happened, I was kind of in shock.
Now, when she opened the car door, you must have turned around when you heard this.
Yes.
What did you see when you turned around?
Well, after it hit, she hopped out of her car real fast. She hurried up and closed the door. Then she hurried up and started walking real fast into the bank.
Have pictures of your car?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see it, please.
Mind you, I wash my car. I keep up with the maintenance of my car regularly, so I know what scratches are on my car and what scratches aren't on my car. So I waited. Mind you, I just left from it.
So these are the scratches you're talking about, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
The two?
Yes.
1, 2?
Yes.
Not any other scratches on the car?
Nah, just those two.
Just those two?
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
So mind you, I had just left from inside the bank. It was empty. So I'm sitting there waiting for her to come out. 5 minutes passed. 10 minutes passed. So I'm thinking in my head, oh, she's probably trying to wait for me to leave to avoid the situation. So I'm sitting there waiting. She finally comes out. She's walking straight. She's not even looking in my direction. She's walking to her car, and she was about to put her car keys in her car, and I had to stop her. I said, "Excuse me, ma'am." And she was like, "Huh?" And I was like, "You know you hit my car with your car door when you first pulled up." And she was like, "Oh, I did?" So when she said that, I already knew what type of integrity she had. When she tried to deny it, well, she didn't really deny it, but she was like, "Oh, I did?" And I was like, "Yeah, you hit it." She was like, "So what do you want to do?" I was like, "Well, we need to exchange information." So she said, "Hold on." She got in her car and closed the door. So I'm thinking, oh, she might be trying to pull off. So I got behind her car, and I wrote down her tag number. So about a minute passed, and she opened the car door crying, boo-hoo crying. My dad wants to talk to you. So she put me on the phone with her dad, Mr. Alan Gulek. So I got on the phone with him. So he introduced himself. He was real polite. He introduced himself. He asked me what happened. I told him exactly what happened. Then he said, are you sure she did it? And I said, "Sir, I'm positive," because I was sitting inside my car when it happened. He was like, "Okay, well, this is what I want to do." He was like, "I don't want to have to go through my insurance company. I'm a lawyer down in Miami. I'll go ahead and take care of everything for you. Just go ahead and get an estimate and fax it to me, and I'll take care of everything."
Okay, and did you get an estimate, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the estimate that you faxed to?
Estimate that I faxed, $497.76.
Can I see it, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Because Mr. Gluick says you faxed him an estimate for $277.
No, the story, because after that, after I faxed him that estimate, I didn't hear from him. Like, months had passed, and I still didn't hear from him. So one day I was on campus. I went through the campus directory. I got her phone number. I called her. I was like, "Hey, my name's Carl. Do you remember me?" She's like, "Yeah, I remember you." I was like, "Did you talk to your dad?"
Just a second. Did you ever fax him an estimate for $277?
No, I had called him and told him I got a cheaper estimate. Because
okay. So you told him you got a cheaper estimate for $277.
Yeah.
Ah, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
So the answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay. And you never got paid?
No.
Good. Go ahead.
I pulled into the bank. It was raining, so I got out of my car, walked into the bank.
Just a second. You got out of the car, and when you get out of the car, do you open this heavy door to the Jeep Cherokee with your hand or with your foot?
With my hand.
No, that's not what you do. You open the door and you give it a little shove with your foot so that it opens easy. That's what you do. That's what you did.
I didn't open it with my foot.
No, you opened it with your hand.
Right.
And then you push it with your foot because it's hard for you because a Jeep Cherokee is a high car. How tall are you?
5'4".
So that you have to hop down.
I stepped down.
Yeah. Right. Been there. Question to you is, you dinged his car. That's what you did. There's no question in my mind you dinged his car. You've probably dinged a lot of people's cars. My question to you is, why is someone who's 21 years old, who's old enough to be in possession of a big car, a big weapon, if you don't use it right, why does somebody like you call their daddy?
I wasn't sure what information I should give him, if we should call the cops or not. So I wanted
He
some
asked
advice.
you for your insurance information.
He said, can I have your information?
Okay, and what did you think he meant?
My
What
phone
did you
number,
think he meant?
some
Your
way to
height,
get in
your
touch
weight,
with
your
me?
color, your eye color?
Some way to get in touch with me?
Then you shouldn't be driving a car. If you thought he wanted some way to get in touch with you, then you shouldn't be driving a car.
I thought the cops should have been called then if he wanted my insurance information.
So, fine. You went into your car and you called your father.
Yes, ma'am.
Did your father say call the police?
No, that's why I didn't.
Well, what did your father say to you?
He said give him your information.
And what information did he say to give him?
I gave him both of our phone numbers and our name.
That's not the information he needs. He needs your insurance information. Did your father say give him your insurance card?
No, ma'am.
Well, he should have. That's what it means when you exchange information. Right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you can stand up.
Thank you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Carl Anderson says fellow motorist Taryn Gluck owes for dinging his car door in a bank parking lot. Taryn denies causing any damage.
Okay. Why didn't you tell your daughter to call the police? She had been involved in an accident.
Well, number one, in the state of Florida, you're only required to call the police when there's personal injury damage, which there was not, and that was the first thing I ascertained.
Perfect. Having ascertained that, when your daughter said he wants my information, that includes your insurance information. You know that. You're a lawyer.
Yes.
Well, it would seem to me that along with your name and number, he should have had your insurance information, unless you said to him, send me an estimate and I'll take care of it. Is that what you said to him, sir? Look at me. Don't look over there.
I didn't say it in those words, no.
I don't care whether you said it in those words, sir. It's either, here's my insurance information, take it up with my insurance company, or fax me an estimate and I'll take care of it.
I said, send me some paperwork, send me some information, and we'll take care of it. That was
Fine,
exactly
then you
what I said.
pay for it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, it's clear to me that these two dings are what was caused by the car door hitting your car and being irresponsible enough not even to get out and look at it and say, I hit one door against another. At least let me look at it and see if I caused any damage.
I looked at it.
No, you didn't. When you hit his car, you left as soon as you could. When he called you on it, when you came back, then you looked at his car.
Correct.
But when you did it, you didn't look at his car. You hightailed it out of there as soon as you could. Wrong thing to do. You got to act responsibly. You look like a nice girl. You're big enough to drive a car. You have to do the right thing when you drive a car. And you're supposed to be careful when you get out and not use your foot. You know, they call that the Florida foot. I live in Florida. I know the Florida foot. The way women get out of a car. Unfortunately, it's mostly the women. They get out, and older men. They get out of the car, they open the car door, and they go, boom! So it opens the door easily so that they can get themselves out of the car. That's what you did. Okay, you owe him $277, and it wasn't the right thing to blow him off and to not keep in contact with him. You neither, sir. Wrong thing to do. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you, that's all.
Mark Golombieski is suing his ex-girlfriend, Pauline Bano, for the return of an engagement ring and 2 unpaid loans. Mark claims at the time he proposed, Pauline was married to another man.
Mr. Golombieski, you and the defendant were in a relationship. According to you, you gave her an engagement ring, asked her to marry you, and she accepted. And you made a series of loans to her. She went and married somebody else, according to you. And you remained friends, but you want your money back and you want your ring back. Ms. Bano says that you were just friends, originally not, but then she met somebody else, she married somebody else, and you, in a very friendly way, agreed to assist her when she was having some financial difficulties. And the ring was not an engagement ring, but a ring that was given to her at Christmas time when she received all of her other Christmas presents. That's the box. Can I see the ring?
100%.
Can I see the ring? I need a time frame for this.
That was Christmas Eve.
Oh, perfect. How did you meet her?
We met online in June of 2006.
And when did you meet in person?
A few days after we started talking online.
You live close by?
Yeah, we live in the same town.
Was she single at the time?
Yes.
Did you discuss marriage?
She brought up the subject of marriage maybe a couple of months after we'd met.
What did she say?
She kind of thought I was the right guy for her, and, you know, I got along well with her children and all that other stuff. And
So she's been married before?
Yes.
What about you?
Yes, I was.
Divorced?
Divorced.
And you?
Ben, I was divorced, yes.
Tell me about when you purchased this ring, sir.
When I purchased was after Miss Biano came back. She had to go to Maryland for about a month or so, 5 weeks or so, because her son was injured in Iraq. And she went down there to be with him and to care for him down in Maryland.
In what month was that?
Most of the month of October.
October 7th is when I left.
Okay. Go ahead.
We still contacted each other pretty much every day, emails, phone calls, things like that. You know, we kind of maintained the relationship the best we could. So I guess with abstinence making the heart grow fonder, things like that. When she came back in November and leading up to it, you know, I started thinking a little bit more about it, that we got through all of that and that, you know, maybe she was the next one for me.
But while, according to you and according to Miss Bano, while she was in Maryland, she met somebody else. Is that right?
Yes, it was.
And you married somebody else?
Yes, I did.
When did you tell Mr. Golombowski that you had married somebody else?
When I got home.
Not before?
No. When I got home from Maryland. Which
When
was
did you
in
get
November.
home from Maryland?
November 7th, November 8th.
Is that when she told you she had gotten married?
No, Your Honor.
When did she tell you she
Mark,
got married?
you were crying
No,
on the
no, no,
phone.
Mr. Bano, don't speak to him. When did she tell you she got married?
She told me she did not even get married until just before Thanksgiving, which would have been around November 22nd or so.
Okay, so
She
sometime
told me-
in
Yes,
November.
that's true. Sorry.
She didn't tell me this until about the beginning of the year after Christmas, that she got married back just prior to Thanksgiving.
She told you after you had given her the ring?
Yes, Your Honor. About a
Tell
week
me
or so
about when
after.
you gave her the ring.
Basically, it was on Christmas Eve, 2006. Her family
You
was
were
there.
together?
We were together. We were at her house. Her family was there. My daughter was there with us. And we'd opened up presents and things like that. And
Everybody exchanges gifts on Christmas Eve.
Go ahead.
one of the last gifts that I had given her was the ring. And, you know, I let her know that I wanted to marry her, and she accepted.
What did she say?
She said she wanted to be together, you know, and she accepted
All
it.
right. Now, according to you, Miss Bano, at the time that this gentleman gave you this ring, you were married to somebody else.
Yes.
And you told him you were married to somebody else.
Yes.
Give him his ring back.
Thank you.
His.
I offered it back 100 times. He
Now he's got
refused
it.
to take it.
Okay, now he's got it. Got your ring back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now let's talk about these loans. When was the first loan?
First loan was on January 17th of 2007. She asked for $750 for a car loan.
Now, by that time, you already knew that she was married.
Yes, Your Honor. But I also expected us to, she was talking about an annulment. She was talking
Why
about
did she tell you
divorce.
that she wanted an annulment?
She didn't want to be married to this gentleman. The gentleman that she'd married to wasn't even with her. He wasn't up in the state of Connecticut. He was still wherever. I'd never
In
met him.
Maryland.
The only time that I'd know that they were together, she said, is when he came up here to marry her in November.
But you still dated
Yes, Your Honor.
from November, December, and into January. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So according to you, and according to her, she needed $750. You gave her the $750, and according to Ms. Bano, she actually returned, and you accepted $350 on that loan.
No, Your Honor. Not on those loans. There was a time around Christmas that she wanted, you know, we were out shopping and she needed some money, and I gave her the $300 then. What? And she had repaid that money to me in the cash that she's talking about, I believe.
No, that is not true.
Okay, so why don't you tell me, Ms. Bano?
Okay, in the beginning, we did meet.
Listen, I'm past meeting. I don't care meeting. You met, you married somebody else.
Yeah, I did. I met and I married somebody else. In December, I talked to him.
Quiet. Get to the $750.
I was telling him, we were talking. I told him I needed more money to put down payment on my new car, okay? He offered it.
Why did you tell him that?
We were just talking in general. I wanted the car now. I didn't want to wait, okay? And he offered it, so I said, okay, I'll pay you back. I can pay you back half now, and I'll pay you back half the next week. He's like, that's fine. So on the 18th, I deposited his check into my account. On the 22nd, I withdrew $300, and I handed it to him. He took it. The following week, I offered him money again. He said, no, just keep it. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Go ahead, cutie. When was the next time you told him you needed money?
I didn't tell him I needed money. We're just having conversation. Okay, in conversation, the second time in conversation, we were discussing, and I was saying, we were talking about my income taxes, how I hadn't been here, blah, 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 so on and so on.
Just a second. Don't tell me about income tax. I read your answer. Yeah? According to your answer, you were having some financial difficulties. So what did you need money for in January?
A car.
You got the $750.
You just said what I need money for in January.
February.
March.
You mean you're still stringing him along in March?
Yeah.
What did you tell him you needed money for in March?
We were just talking about money in general. He offered the money. He left a check on my kitchen table. My daughter picked it up. We asked, what is this for? He said, help you out with bills. I was like, thank you. We cashed it. We paid some bills.
Oh, Lord. Let me tell you something. Mr. Golubieski, kiss the floor, look up to God, and say, thank you, God, because but for the grace of God, she could have married you. Been in real trouble, sir. Right now, the guy in Maryland has to worry about it.
He doesn't have to worry about anything.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,900. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Allison Abushan claims her ex-boyfriend, Christopher Wilson, owes for the down payment on a truck. Allison also claims Christopher overdrew their shared bank account.
Thank you, Bert. Miss Abushan, how long were you and the defendant together as a couple?
About 5.5 months.
Did he move in with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Where did you meet him?
I met him when I was finishing college in Kentucky. He then moved back with me to Minnesota.
Mr. Wilson, when you moved back with Miss Abushan to Minnesota, what were you doing for a living, sir?
I got down there and I started work for DirecTV.
In what month did you move to Minnesota?
It was 2 days before Christmas.
So let's say January. And when did you get the job with DirecTV?
It was about a month after Christmas.
February?
Yes.
How long did you have the job?
Until I come back to Kentucky.
And when was that?
In the middle of March.
Well, then you weren't working very long, sir.
Right.
Who was supporting you?
My parents would send me money, help me out.
I'm talking about her. Was she supporting you?
It'd go either way. I had money, too.
Where did you have money from?
My parents, like I say, they would send me money.
How old are you, Mr. Wilson?
I'm 23. I'll be 24.
If I let you.
I hope you'll let me.
All of these things, my questions have a reason, Mr. Wilson.
Okay.
This is your complaint. You foolishly, very foolishly, put a down payment on a truck or
Yes, Your
something
Honor.
for him. And there was an agreement that he was going to pay you back for it because he didn't have any what?
Transportation or money.
Because he didn't have any money.
Right.
Otherwise, he would have put the down payment on his own truck. So evidently his parents, because he acknowledges that you put the down payment on the truck for him, right? I read your papers.
Correct.
And if you had money of your own, then you wouldn't have needed money from? You're smarter than you look, sir. Now, 2 weeks after you bought him this truck, he goes back to Kentucky to deal with some legal issues, according to him, having to do with his child.
That ended up being
I'm
false.
speaking.
Excuse me.
And his child said, oh, Daddy, don't leave. So he decided to leave and dump you and go back to the mother of his child and his child because he couldn't say no to his baby. And he kept your truck. That's after 2 weeks.
Yes,
and how much did you lay out?
$3,500.
You know, your looks are deceiving, sir. What?
$3,500, Your Honor.
No. There were also payments due on this truck.
Yes, Your Honor.
He moved back in the middle of March to Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Did he make the March payment on the truck?
No, ma'am, he did not.
I see, just a second. I see a whole lot of blank space on your table, Mr. Wilson. You say in your answer that you made the truck payments. You left, according to you, the second week in March. Show me the March payment that you made.
I ain't got no evidence of nothing. She come and got the truck without my knowledge, right in the middle of the day.
Listen to me. Listen to me. You have evidence, sir, because you would have proof that you made the truck payment in March.
Nothing was due. There was no payments due on that truck.
I have a check, Your Honor.
We just had purchased that truck. Like I say, we just had purchased that truck.
You mean you purchased it, they made you a gift?
No, it's not a gift. It wasn't. There was no payments due on it.
When was the first payment due?
Whenever we bought the truck, like 3 weeks before. And I hadn't had a chance to pay the payment on it because she come and got it.
You didn't have a chance.
Exactly.
Your Honor, I have a check for
Can I see
March.
it, please?
Yes, ma'am. My mother wrote it out of account that we had shared together, my mother and I, to make the payment. After he was delinquent on that payment, that's when we chose to go down there for the sake of my credit.
Just a second.
Yes, Your Honor.
We do this according to the way I run this playpen, okay? Check is dated the 21st of March, so I assume for $271.75. You don't have another check that you made, do you, sir?
No.
In March? No. No. Then you went down because he didn't make the payment. And very wisely, I might add, decided not to be involved with this man anymore because now your credit is on the line because there are payments due on this car.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you and your mom, according to your papers, went down and repossessed the car.
Yes.
And sold it.
Yes.
Sold it at a loss.
Yes.
And what you want is the money that you spent on him for this truck. How much did you sell the truck for?
Sold the truck for $10,500. Had $11.86 left on the truck to be paid.
All right, so what's the deficit?
About $1,300.
Okay. That's a cheap lesson. Now, when, Ms. Aubuchon, when you went down to repossess the truck, did you give him any notice that he had the opportunity to make up any of these?
Yes, Your Honor. I asked him if he would please return the truck to me. I even offered to buy him a plane ticket back to Kentucky from Minnesota if he would do that.
And what did he say to you?
He said, I'll do it, and then he would not call me back. I wouldn't be able to get a hold of him for several weeks at a time.
When did you first call him?
I called him...
Mr. Wilson, this smirk is irritating. Go ahead.
I was explaining this to him about a week after he left once I realized that he would not be returning.
When he left to go to Kentucky?
Yes.
When did he notify you that he would not be coming back?
It was about a week after he left. He told me that he wasn't going to be coming back due to his baby and missing his family. At that point, I said, I'll give you the opportunity to make the truck payment. If you do not, it will be going against my credit as well, and I will have to retrieve the truck.
And when did you have the discussion with him?
That discussion with him was had about a week after he...
Which was when?
It would have been the very end of February, first week of March. I also have credit card charges, Your Honor, which would indicate when he returned back to Kentucky.
I'd like to see them, please. Now, the second part of your claim is that he overdrew a joint checking account that you had. And quite frankly, I'm far more interested in that than this truck problem because the truck was an unfortunate exercise for you.
Right.
You got most of your money back.
Right.
The $1,300 is probably a reasonable lesson that you'll never do it again.
Well, the down payment I never got back.
The down payment you did get back, madam. When you sold it, if anything, there was one payment due. I mean, it was a wise thing for you to do. Otherwise, you would have been responsible for the whole thing. But no bank would have gone after him after a week.
But I gave him the opportunity to
No bank would have gone after him after a week. And in all probability, he would not have made these payments. There's no question he wouldn't have made these payments from a moral perspective. But from a legal perspective, if you own a car and you finance it, and if you're 4 days late with a payment, they do not come after you and repossess the car. They don't do it.
Right.
Let's hear about the money in your checking account.
Okay. We opened this joint checking account because I was supporting Mr. Wilson. I gave him a card of his own. Once he started making money, his checks were going to be directly deposited into that account so that we could pay bills together, so on and so forth. When he left, that account was emptied. I foolishly did not close it.
When he left, the account was emptied by you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And how much was in the account?
At the time, there was about $1,500 in the account.
Okay. And at the time, Mr. Wilson had been working for about a month.
Correct.
How much money did you put into the account, Mr. Wilson?
Probably about $700.
Okay, fine. And then, according to the plaintiff, Mr. Wilson, you made charges against her bank credit for $2,000. Why did you do that, sir?
I don't think I made that much.
Why did you make any?
I don't think I made about maybe $300, and I figured my money was in there.
Well, let's see how much money. How much money did he charge on the debit card?
I believe the total is about $2,300.
Not about. Figure it out, because then you're going to show it to Mr. Wilson. You need a calculator?
I may need a calculator. There's quite a bit.
Stand over next to her while she's adding this up so you save me a little bit of time, Mr. Wilson. Listen to me, Miss Aubuchon.
Thank you. Yes, Your Honor.
Show him the charge, add it on the calculator. Press on.
Okay.
I know enough about the machine to know they have to press on.
This is the ladder. This is the advance for credit card for food and gas when you left town, food and gas in Kentucky, when you ordered stuff in order to set up your new business in Kentucky, more food and gas, and the Dell computer.
And what do we have as a total?
We have $2,130, I believe.
5 cents on your computer.
This is wrong. That was the
Go,
difference.
step back over and don't be a smart mouth. Can I see it, please?
Sure.
Give me the computer. Let him stand right there next to you. Just
Okay. So unless the decimal is in the wrong place, it should be about $1,595 that I've now added up. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, Mr. Wilson, you've gone over those charges. That should be your computer in Kentucky, your business in Kentucky, the food and gas in Kentucky. Gone over those charges?
Yes.
Is that right? $1,595?
I don't think so.
Well, how much is it, sir? Here, just a second. Let's do... You add it.
I don't need no calculator. I mean, I really don't.
No, listen to me. Then add it up in your head. Add it up in your head. What?
600.
No. Add up those figures, sir. Give the piece of paper to Smartmouth. Read over the figures that she just added, sir. Come on.
Well, at the time, you know, from Minnesota, Kentucky.
Listen, from Minnesota to Kentucky, give me the charges. Let's go.
Let me see your calculator then. This calculator ain't right.
Can I have the calculator, please? I've been using it for 11 years. Okay. Now, what I want you to do, Miss Aubuchon, this is a challenge. I want you to say the charge, tell me what it was for, and the amount.
Okay. There was a ladder charged at Menards, $220.85.
Don't give me any change.
Okay.
Just round it out to the last
Yes,
dollar.
Your Honor.
$225?
Yep. Advance from credit card, $150. Skywalker Communications, $175. Food and gas in Kentucky, $50. Advance from credit card, $1,000. I'm sorry, I missed that originally. And the Dell computer, $807.
Where's the computer, sir?
I sent it back whenever she notified me about it.
Send it back to whom?
Dale, a long time ago.
Is there a credit?
I was never credited for that, Your Honor.
You owe her $2,407. You got it? Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,407. Listen, Miss Aubuchon,
Yes,
you
Your
made
Honor.
a mistake.
Yes, Your Honor.
Don't make another mistake.
I won't, Your Honor.
Good. Thank you. That's
Thank
all.
you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Child care provider Summer Oliver claims former employer Jamie DiMarino owes for unpaid wages. Jamie is accusing Summer of being a neglectful babysitter.
Miss Oliver, it is your claim that the defendant owes you some money for babysitting services, and the defendant says you've been paid. She's counterclaiming because she says because you were such an inefficient sitter, she lost money. When did you start babysitting for a child or children?
2 children. We had an interview on the 5th of January, and then she started the 8th of January.
And how did you find her?
My father had given me her number because she was running a local ad in one of the papers for daycare. So
How old are your children?
I have a son that will be 3 in a couple months, and my daughter just turned 6.
All right, January 8th is when she started, and what was the financial arrangement?
Anywhere from $150 to $170 a week.
Now, the first week that you babysat, did she pay you?
Yes.
And the second week?
Yes.
So we're talking about 1 full week of $150 that you claim she didn't pay you for.
The last week of her 2 weeks' notice.
What do you mean the last week of her 2 weeks' notice?
She gave 2 weeks' notice. She paid the first week, and she didn't pay the last week.
What days did she bring the children to you during that second week?
The last week, Monday, she brought both her children. Tuesday, she called me and she said that she had been out drinking the night before and she was hungover, so she would not be bringing her children Tuesday.
That's Tuesday.
Yes.
No, that's not true.
Wednesday, she brought both her children. Her little son had a terrible diaper rash, and he had diarrhea at my house that day. I called her to come pick her son up because he was ill. I actually had to take him upstairs and bathe him because he had defecated all over himself and all down my carpet.
Okay, go ahead.
The next day, Thursday, she brought him. He had defecated in his pants.
So he was soiled again?
Yes, he was.
What about her daughter?
Her daughter had diarrhea that morning, but she went to school.
Well, she's 6.
Yes.
Just a second. But she was there at your facility, at your home?
Yes.
The daughter, until she went to school?
Correct.
Okay. And Friday?
Thursday, when she came to pick up her son, I called her and said, he cannot stay here. He is ill. I have got to put my other children in high chairs and fasten them in, and I have to take care of him. And it's dangerous. It's not respectful to my other kids or for me. I said, you need to pick him up. And she became very angry, saying he was not ill, and she tried to pass it off.
Okay. Ms. DiMarino, why did you give your 2 weeks' notice?
It's because I noticed that the level of care wasn't necessarily where it needed to be. The week right before I gave my 2-week notice, my son had his hand slammed in the door. He was unable to use his hand for a couple of weeks. His fingernails, in turn, fell off. I was never notified. I was never called. The first time I found out about this was when I arrived at her house. Now, my children seem to like her. However, she did not work well for me. Sometimes my job demands that I stay later. I can unfortunately never count on her to do so. I realized I'd made a bad mistake, and my previous child care provider had been in Egypt on vacation for over a month, so I decided to go back. I gave her my 2-week notice.
When you gave her your 2-week notice, the first week your children went to her home?
Yes, ma'am.
Every day?
No, ma'am. She went to the funeral that week. That was a complete oversight on my part, and I paid her for the full week.
Did you go to a funeral that week?
Yes, ma'am.
What day did you go to a funeral?
Tuesday.
Were you available to babysit?
I was not.
Were you paid?
I was. And everybody else paid the full
I don't care what everybody else did. Everybody else is not suing.
Well, I gave her credit of $120. The 3 days, I've added a $10 late fee as per our agreement that we had.
Just a second. It's not a late fee. There is a dispute as to whether or not you're entitled to be paid. So forget late fee.
Ma'am, she signed an agreement with me that she would pay a late fee.
Listen to me very carefully, which is why you are here. Do you understand? I want you to forget late fee. That's not happening.
She signed a contract that said that she would pay.
Listen to me.
Regardless if her children were ill.
I want you to pay careful attention to me. Anywhere in your contract does it say if you are unavailable to babysit, you get paid anyway?
No, ma'am.
So that some things are not covered by a contract. Is that right?
Right, but others
When
are.
there is a dispute as to whether or not you are entitled to payment, that falls outside the contract, just as the fact that you had a funeral to attend and you couldn't get anybody else to cover for you because your job is very personal in nature.
Correct.
So when you can't babysit for people whose jobs depend upon you doing your job, very often they lose their wages from their job. Correct? Do you understand? Yes. That's why sometimes contracts don't cover every eventuality. You are not entitled to be paid for the day you took off.
I'm not asking for that.
But you were paid.
That's why I gave her credit the next week.
But you were paid. Well, if you gave her credit the next week, let us assume that you're entitled to $150 for the week. That would mean that you are really only entitled to $120.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're suing her for $150. So now we're down to $120. Now, you explain to me why you don't feel as if your children went there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes, ma'am. They were not there Tuesday because I had some prior arrangements.
That has nothing to do with her.
Absolutely.
That has no use. You have to pay her for that.
I had every intention upon paying her. Had my son came back being said that he was sick, which is what I told Miss Oliver on Thursday when she called me and said, you are aware you do owe me $120. And if you do not pay me by Friday at midnight, I will start adding $10 late fee. I said, that's fine. You're entitled to do whatever you need to do. However, my son will be at the doctor's at 4:30 today. If he is given a clean bill of health, I will not pay you a dime. If it is said that he was sick, I will pay you. My son was taken to the doctor. He wasn't sick. There was nothing wrong with him. She's the only person.
Show me the doctor's letter.
Yes, ma'am. My doctor is semi-retired, so all I could get was their notes. He won't be back until Thursday. State of Virginia will not release the records to you.
Well, then that's not particularly helpful.
I know it's not. It's the best I could do because Dr. Only comes in a couple times a month. However, I have a statement from my sitter.
I don't need a statement. I don't read statements
She's
from
giving
you.
birth
I
in 2
don't
weeks.
read statements from your sitter.
She can't.
I don't read statements from your sitter.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You know, sometimes when a child has an upset stomach, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're sick.
Yes, ma'am.
But sometimes it does. And sometimes, if the daycare provider believes that the other children in her care are at risk,
yes, ma'am,
then the prudent thing for her to do is to say, listen, I don't want to risk the other children's health here. So, but there is no question that you owe her $120.
Even for the fact that I paid a separate daycare provider for that whole entire week, and she kept my children for 3 hours.
Listen, if for some reason you were unhappy,
I was.
You should have done what every reasonable parent does, which is not send your children at all. If you questioned her ability to care for
According
your
to this,
children. What?
According to her contract, I would have been liable.
Are you kidding me or what?
That's what it says.
No,
'Cause
are
I
you
initialed
kidding me
it.
or what?
That's what I
mean,
thought.
you're telling me that you question her ability to
did.
care for your children, but according to the contract, you'd be liable to pay for them anyway, so...
I
that-
would,
Should-
unless
listen,
without 2 weeks. Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask you this question. You take your children to an amusement park.
Yes, ma'am.
And you buy your ticket.
Yes, ma'am.
And after you buy your ticket, somebody in the amusement park says to you, you know, I heard that yesterday 4 children were killed on that ride that you're going on. Now you got your ticket in your hand. What do?
You don't go.
You don't, just a second. You don't go. You take your ticket, you throw it in the garbage because you're a mother, and you say, I'm not taking any chances. I don't care if I lose the $1.50 or the $3 or the $6 on the ticket. I'm not risking my children on a ride that could be dangerous. So if you question the ability of a daycare provider to provide for your children, irrespective of whether you owe them the money, you don't take them.
Which is why they didn't come back.
Just as you don't take them. You don't say, I'm
I didn't
liable
wanna
to
end up
pay.
here.
Hey, I'm liable to pay the money, which is why I sent them. Now, that's what you just said to me. You said you sent them because you were liable to pay
And
anyway.
there was no immediate danger, except for the fact that when she said there was something wrong with my son, nobody else observed this except for her.
Oh, I don't believe that
I
that's
have
true. Miss
nobody else
DiMarino,
observed it.
Miss DiMarino, I don't believe that she sent your son home with you and called you when she felt as if the child had an upset stomach, had a bad stomach. Could have been a virus, could not have been a virus, whatever. My sense is that she sent him home as much because it was a pain in the neck for her as anything else, because she says she had other children to take care of, and she was devoting all of her time to take care of your son and cleaning her carpet, which was irritating to her. Well, that's unfortunate. That's what you have to do when you take care of little babies. That's what you get paid for. In any event, you owe her $120. It was a bad experience. You got to pay her. Stop being a crybaby. If you didn't take your children there at all, and you said to me the last week, look, I felt my children were at risk at her house,
wow,
and therefore I'm not taking them, and you didn't take them, I might have had a little sympathy for you. But you took them. I have zero. You owe her $120. That's all.
Thank you.
Your countersuit is dismissed. It's nonsense. Your countersuit for your lost wages when she couldn't take care of your child, it's nonsense.
It wasn't for that.
Yes, it was.
No, ma'am, it was for the fact of, it wasn't for when she couldn't take care of my children. My countersuit was for when I had to miss a whole day of work because it was President's Day. She forgot to inform me she would not be taking care of my children. It was President's Day. I showed up with my children in tow, and I missed a whole entire day of work.
Which day was that?
It was President's Day.
February 19th.
February 9th. Is
And
that
she
in your
was aware.
contract?
It is. I take off all state holidays.
Is it in the contract?
Yes, it is.
Show me. That's all. Just has to be in the contract.
That I take off all state holidays, and if she did not know what state holidays were...
Just show me. State holidays are observed, and I will generally not be providing care on those days.
Correct.
However, if needed, it can be arranged for an additional $40 a day.
She did not ask me to.
Just a second. Why?
Because those are the days my husband has off, and that's when we spend family time together. I do not take a vacation during the year like a lot of other daycare providers do.
Please ask for a list of state-observed holidays. Did you ask for that list?
I didn't need, I knew
Did
when
you
it was.
ask for that list?
No, ma'am. I
Okay.
have a calendar.
So you know it was a state holiday?
I did, and I thought I had arranged
No,
that
she did
day
not.
until I showed up and she answered the door in her pajamas 15 minutes later.
Just a second. What do you mean you thought you had arranged for her to take
Because
care?
I said I needed to work. I was aware that it was President's Day, so was she. I said I have to work on Monday. She answered the door in her pajamas and said, well, I'm not keeping any of my other children today, so I will not be keeping yours
listen,
either.
Yeah, no, you don't got it. When did you arrange to have her babysit that day on the state holiday?
The prior week.
The prior week.
Yes,
did
ma'am.
she?
She did not.
No, she made that up. Just
No.
Counterclaims dismissed. That's nonsense.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
শাকিব খান অপু বিশ্বাস বুবলি একসঙ্গে কোনো সিনেমায় অভিনয় করে, সেটার নাম কি হবে?
ডিরেক্টর বা প্রযোজক ডিসাইড করবে।
শাকিব খান ছাড়া অন্য কোন নায়কের সঙ্গে আপনাকে বেশি মানায়? একজনের নাম বলতে হবে।
সবার সাথেই মানায়, যাদের সাথে এই পর্যন্ত কাজ করেছি।
আজকে আপনি খুবই ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক উত্তর দিচ্ছেন।
একদমই না।
অনেকেই বলেন আপনি গসিপ কুইন। ইন্ডাস্ট্রির লেটেস্ট গসিপ কি এই মুহূর্তে?
শুধু ঈদেই সিনেমা আসে, অন্য সময় আসে না কেন?
এটা কি গসিপ?
হ্যাঁ, অবশ্যই গসিপ, কারণ এখানে ঈদের সিনেমা যাদের খুব বেশি আসে, ঈদ কেন্দ্রিক আসে, তাদেরকে নিয়ে গসিপ করা হয়।
ওকে, ছোটবেলার কোন তিনটি দিক আপনি ফিরে পেতে চান?
বাবা মার কোলে ঘুম পাড়ানো, মানে তাদের একটা গায়ের গন্ধ নিতে চাই।
2
আর স্কুলে যেতে চাই। সেটা যে
শুনে
কি
আমার খুব
মজা,
স্কুলে
কারণ
যেতে ইচ্ছে
ক্লাসে
করছে।
খাবার দিত, সেই খাবারটা চুরি করে খাওয়ার মজাই আলাদা। লাইক ক্লাস ক্যাপ্টেন ধরো এসেছে 70 জন, বলতাম 73 জন, সো 3টা যে বেশি আসতো, এই খুশি রাখার জায়গা ছিল না।
যে কোনো একটি বেছে নিতে হবে, বগুড়ার দই নাকি বগুড়ার ছানা?
দই।
আমি ভেবেছিলাম আপনি ছানা বলবেন।
বগুড়ার দই অনেক ভালো।
আই নো দ্যাট, বগুড়ার দই খুবই বিখ্যাত। এই প্রজন্মের নায়িকাদের মধ্যে আপনার কাকে সবচেয়ে বেশি ভালো লাগে বা কাকে সেরা মনে হয়?
না, আমি এটা একদমই উত্তর দিতে পারবো না। আমি চাই না
ওকে
পরিবারের মধ্যে ঝগড়া বাঁধাতে।
শাকিব খান ছাড়া অন্য কোন নায়কের সঙ্গে আপনাকে বেশি মানায়? একজনের নাম বলতে হবে।
সবার সাথেই মানায়, যাদের সাথে এই পর্যন্ত কাজ করেছি।
আজকে আপনি খুবই ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক উত্তর দিচ্ছেন।
একদমই না, কারণ আমি সকলের সাথে কাজ করেছি, ভালো না লাগলে তো আর কাজ
আমি
করা তো না।
আগের উপবিশ্বাসকে মিস করছি, যে অনেক আমার মতো খুবই চুলবুলি, সব কথা বলে ফেলে, মানে আমি যেরকম সেরকম। আজকে তো খুব অন্য উপবিশ্বাসকে দেখছি আমি, বাই দ্য ওয়ে। আমি পরের প্রশ্নে যাব। গণমাধ্যমে যে কথা বলে পরবর্তীতে নিজে খুব আফসোস করেছেন?
আমার আব্রামের পর অনেক আবেগের কথা আমি স্ক্রিনে বলেছি, এটা তো আর্কাইভ থেকে যায়। বিশেষ করে ওর দাদা দাদিকে নিয়ে কিছু মন্তব্য করেছি, যেটা আমার কাছে খুব কষ্টের, এখন পীড়া দেয়।
ওকে,
যদিও তারা আমাকে সবসময় বলে যে তুমি আমার মেয়ের মতো, এগুলো আমাদের একদমই মনে নেই, মাথায় নেই, তো তারপরেও না নিজের মতো অনেক গিল্টি হয় যে কেন বলেছি রাগ করে।
জয়ের ডাক্তার বিশ্বজিৎ চক্রবর্তীকে যে কথা এখনো বলা হয়নি,
এটাও কি করে জানো?
আমাদের এআই আছেন।
ও মাই গড, আমি উত্তর কি দিব আমি ভাবছি।
এটার উত্তর কিন্তু দিতেই হবে।
আমি জাস্ট ওনাকে একটা কথাই বলি, আমি ওনাকে বাবা ডেকেছিলাম, তো আমি একটু কথাই বলি যে আমাকে এত সুন্দর একটি সন্তান উপহার দেওয়ার জন্য, কারণ ওই সময়টা আসলে আমার জন্য অনেক বেশি সেন্সিটিভ ছিল, যেটা উনি আমাকে সত্যি একটা ডাক্তার না, একটা বাবা হয়ে প্রেজেন্ট করেছিল।
এবার আপনাকে নিয়ে দুটো নেগেটিভ এবং দুটো পজিটিভ কথা বলুন।
নেগেটিভটা হচ্ছে ভীষণ সহজ সরল। আসলে এই সহজ সরল বিষয়টা অনেক সময় মানুষকে হিট করে, আর মানুষের বেশি উপকার করতে গিয়ে হালকা হয়ে যায়, ব্যক্তিত্ব লস্ট হয়ে যায়, সো এটা নেগেটিভ। আর পজিটিভ বলবো, সকলে ভালো পছন্দ করি, যে সকলেই ভালো থাকুক, যে জায়গা থেকে থাকুক।
আরেকটি পজিটিভ?
আমার পজিটিভ খুঁজে পাচ্ছি না।
ও নো, আপনি সরল, এটা আরেকটি পজিটিভ।
এটা তো আমার কাছে নেগেটিভ মনে হয়, কারণ
এটা পজিটিভও নেগেটিভ, এটা
হতে পারে, আই ডোন্ট নো। হ্যাঁ, তাই মনে হয়, রাইট।
ওকে, যদি কখনো শাকিব খান অপু বিশ্বাস বুবলি একসঙ্গে কোনো সিনেমায় অভিনয় করে, সেটার নাম কি হবে?
ডিরেক্টর বা প্রযোজক ডিসাইড করবে। আমি তো এত বড় প্রোডাকশনে কাজ করাতে পারবো না, সো আই ডোন্ট নো।
আপনার ইমাজিনেশন কি বলে, কি হতে পারে?
কিছুই না, কারণ আমি যেটা পারবো না সেটা আমি ইমেজেও আনবো না। ইমাজিনেশন এই কারণে করবো না, কারণ এটা আমার স্বার্থ নয়, সো আমি এটা করে টাইম ওয়েস্ট করতে পারবো না।
ওকে, আমরা শুনেছিলাম নিউজে যে অপু বিশ্বাস আত্মহত্যা করেছে। আমি তাহলে এই মুহূর্তে কার সাথে কথা বলছি? মানে এইরকম রিউমার।
শুধু কি তাই? শুধু তো তাই না, মানে এরকম অনেক আর্টিস্টকেই মেরে ফেলছে এই ধরনের কিছু ভুয়া নিউজ, এবং ইদানিং স্টার্ট হয়েছে এআই দিয়ে ফেস করা, হাঁটা চলা, কত ধরনের ভিডিও বানাচ্ছে। আসলে এটা আমি বলবো যে এখনকার সময়ে এটা অনেক বড় একটা পদ্ধতি, কিন্তু এটাকে মিসইউজ করা হচ্ছে।
একটা ব্যাপার যদি বলি, জীবনে এমন কোনো পরিস্থিতিতে কি কখনো আপনি আত্মহননের চেষ্টা করেছেন?
না, একদমই না, কারণ এটা কোনো ধর্মের সাথেই যায় না। আর আমি মনে করি মানুষ হিসেবে পৃথিবীতে এসেছি, এটা সবচেয়ে বড় প্রাপ্তি। হ্যাঁ, আমরা কেউই বেঁচে থাকবো না, সময় হলে যেতে হবে, সময়ের জন্য অপেক্ষা করব। আর জীবনের যতই ঝড় আসুক না কেন, ফেস করার জন্য তো আমাদেরকেই করতে হবে, কারণ আমরা সকলেই মানুষ, আমাদের সেই বুদ্ধি জ্ঞান বিবেচনা সৃষ্টিকর্তা করে দিয়েছেন।
আজকে আমাকে অনেকেই একটি কমন প্রশ্ন করতে বলেছেন, প্রত্যেকের একটি প্রশ্ন।
ওকে,
তারা সবাই বলেছেন যে উপবিশ্বাস সুন্দরী, এটা আমরা সবাই জানি, কিন্তু ইদানিং কি হয়েছে?
কি হয়েছে?
অনেক বেশি রূপবতী হয়ে গেছেন,
না, এটা
অনেক
তোমার
glow
চোখে,
করছেন।
না এটা তোমার
না, না,
চোখে।
সবার চোখে। এটার কি কারণ বলুন বলুন।
চোখে আমার মনে হয় সবাই আমাকে অনেক বেশি ভালোবাসে, অনেক বেশি লাভ করে। ভালোবাসা তো আসলে চোখে কখনো খুঁতটা ধরতে পারে না, যার জন্য আমার কোনো খুঁতই ধরতে পারে না।
আসলেই তাই।
হ্যাঁ,
কিন্তু এই গ্লোয়িং স্কিনের রহস্য জানতে চায় দর্শক।
প্রথমেই বলবো যে সকলের ভালোবাসা এটা তো আছেই, বাবা মার আশীর্বাদ এটা তো আছেই। পাশাপাশি আমার একটা বিজনেস হয়েছে, সিগনেচার বেবি বিউটি পার্লার অ্যান্ড বুটিক্স, এবং আরও একটা আমি মেয়েদের তো পার্লার দিয়েছি। তো আমার এরকম অনেক সাংবাদিক ভাইরা আছেন, তারাও চেয়েছেন জেন্টস পার্লার। হ্যাঁ, তো ওই জায়গা থেকে আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে আমার ফেসে তো অনেক বড় প্রবলেম ছিল, এটা সিনেমায়ও অনেক সময় দেখেছি এবং এখনো আসে সামনাসামনি। তো আমার কিছু এক্সপেরিয়েন্স এখানে ইউজ করেছি পার্লারে, আর এখন লাস্ট হয়তো 1 বছর পার্লারে অনেক বেশি যাওয়া হয়।
কি পার্লারে গেলে সুন্দর হওয়া যাবে, গ্লো করা যাবে?
হ্যাঁ, অবশ্যই, পার্লার তো সুন্দরের জন্য। তাও সিগনেচার বেবি বিউটি পার্লারে যেতে হবে।
ওকে, আচ্ছা, খুব ভালো প্রমোশন হয়ে গেল। আমি শুনেছি ম্যাজিক ডায়েট আপনি মানে রেগুলার ফলো করেন। সো আমি জানি আপনি অসম্ভব রিচ ফুড খেতে ভালোবাসেন, চকলেট খেতে ভালোবাসেন। সেই লোভ কিভাবে উপবিশ্বাস এখন সামলায়?
আসলে সামলানোর জন্য প্রথম হচ্ছে যে আমার তো বেবির পর অনেক বেশি মুটিয়ে গিয়েছিলাম, তো সেখান থেকে কামব্যাক করতেও অনেকটা প্রবলেম হয়েছে। শুধুমাত্র ডায়েট প্ল্যানিংয়ে কিন্তু কোনো কিছু সম্ভব নয়, কারণ আমরা যারা মোটা হয়ে যাই, বিশেষ করে যারা মাদার মানে আমাদের মা হওয়ার পরে মোটা হয়ে যায়, তাদের সবচেয়ে বড় প্রবলেমটা থাকে যে স্কিনটা যখন শুকানো স্টার্ট করে তখন কিন্তু একটু অন্যরকম হয়ে যায়। তার জন্য বেটার হচ্ছে জিম। সো আমি জিম প্রচুর সময় নিয়ে করি অ্যান্ড ডায়েট করা হয়। আর এটা কিভাবে করা হয় এটা হচ্ছে আমার দর্শকদের জন্য, কারণ আমার যারা ফ্যান ফলোয়ার তাদের আমার প্রতি এক ধরনের এক্সপেকটেশন আছে, আর আমার দায়িত্ব সেটাকে পূরণ করা।